number 19, Jaylon Smith.
Yeah, Jaylon Smith is all-around great athlete, kind of a renaissance man. He great baseball player, great basketball player, great football player, great student, 3.7 GPA. You couldn't ask for more at your quarterback spot, and he's certainly the leader of that team.
And we know a tough matchup, according to Coach Shelton for Stockdale, is going to be Ramon Henderson on the other side for Independence.
Boy, the kid's just a sophomore, 6'2", 170 pounds. And talking to Coach Shelton, he said that is the guy they've got to stop. I know that Independence had some injuries at running back, so they have to throw a little bit more out of necessity maybe than wanting to. But they've got some guys that like Demweed that have stepped up and run the ball hard. They're not real big guys, but they are exciting.
Well, both teams 2-2. Independence has had a tough go here lately, down to their 5th and 6th running backs, but hanging in there, hoping to, get ready for league next week when they host Tehachapi in Stockdale. They host Centennial next week, so big tune-up for both teams.
For both teams. And I know, they're down a couple linemen, Independence, but the Falcons have an offensive line that's full of some veterans that they're going to be leaning on up front. And, and it's going to be interesting to see who they play at quarterback tonight. Could be telling.
It will be interesting. Defensively, Nick Maiden's a guy we really got to watch defensively for Stockdale.
Yeah, Nick Maiden's their middle linebacker. He, flies all over the field defensively. He's a short yardage back offensively if they're getting a tough situation. Just a good, tough kid. The kind of kid that you love to watch play high school football.
Well, it should be a good one as we get set to kick off. Stockdale clad in their road whites with silver and black, like the Oakland Raiders, and the Independence Falcons in their home maroon with silver and white.
Like the Texas A&M Aggies. All right, well, last week Stockdale did a really good job of keeping West High off balance with directional kicking. I'll be anxious to see what they do this week. They'll probably want to keep the ball out of Henderson's hands if they got any shot at that. And he's the lone deep guy for Independence.
Well, number 42, Nick Maiden's, number.
I think it's number 10.
Number 10,
Or 11, Nick Souza.
Number 12, Nick Souza will set to send it away. And it will be taken by the up back at the 20. That's number 4, Malik Duluth. And Duluth with a nice run, but penalty marker strewn across the near sideline at the 34.
That was an excellent return by Duluth, but I think it's going to come back. One of the points of emphasis that they've had for the last couple of years is those blindside blocks, and I think we had one that took out 2 Stockdale Mustangs with one hit over here.
See what the call is. You got it, Coach.
All right, they got illegal block in the back and a face mask, though, call against Stockdale. So they're looks like they may be re-kicking it.
Yep. Looks like they're going to re-kick.
Well, they definitely tried to keep it away from Henderson over there, but it almost backfired on him. Again, we see, Independence has got some guys maybe without size, but that are really quick and trying to catch a water bug.
Yeah, Malik Duluth, just 5'5", 115. He is one of the guys who's been mixing in at running back with Armani Denweed with all their injuries.
So if I'm Coach Shelton, I don't think I'd kick it that direction again because I don't want it to touch his hands, but I don't want to kick it deep because I don't want it to touch Henderson's hands. So I might try short left over here. We'll see what they do. Stockdale's coverage, I think, over-pursued on that short kick to the right, and the kid had enough speed to beat him around the corner.
So Nick Souza set to send it away again. Once again, the lone deep man, number 11, Ramon Henderson. And they kick it to Henderson. Henderson from his 4. Out over the 25 and runs into a host of Mustang defenders at the 26-yard line. First down and 10, Independence. We'll see, Rich, who he's going to go with at quarterback, Coach Lucas Lucero.
Ramon
Yeah, there was some good blocking early on, but I think they engaged a little early, and Stockdale was able to adjust, make a good stop at the 27, which I think Coach Shelton would take any day of the week.
And it looks like number 8, Sergio Borelli, will get the call, the junior. Coach Lucero said more than likely there will be some mixing in of both Borelli and Zach Castellan, the senior, tonight.
So both these offenses are going to run the pistol, which is a short shotgun snap.
Borelli takes a snap, quick pass, incomplete. Intended for number 4, Malik Duluth. Second down.
Stockdale played that very well. He jumped that route. It would have been a loss if the kid had been able to hold on to the football. The Stockdale defense pursues very fast, and they're very aggressive, led by number 70 for them, who's also their top O-lineman, Joseph Hauser, a two-way player, really dominated last week against West High.
Yeah, Stockdale coming off a big second-half shutout against West. You did that game last week. Stockdale winning 35-12. So Borelli in shotgun formation. Swings it out to the right. That's Henderson. Henderson still on his feet and finally pulled out of bounds. Driven out of bounds by number 10, Brandon Dunn. Yardage is good all the way out to the 45-yard line. There is a penalty marker down, and it's against Stockdale, a face masking penalty.
I know last week Stockdale had some problems with 15-yard penalties. That defense plays aggressive, maybe a little bit over-aggressive. But, boy, our first look at Henderson with the ball in his hands on an offensive play, and just very smooth would be my impression there. He didn't have to do anything real fancy, but he attacked where he saw the opening and gained good yardage. Now, they didn't mark off that penalty. I guess it wasn't from a spot foul.
So the ball will be spotted at the 47-yard line of the Mustangs. Handoff. And running into a wall of Mustangs is number 40, Chris Wyrick. Chris Wyrick, the senior. Gain of a couple.
I think we're going to see quite a few different backs touch the ball here for Independence. They want to be able to keep Stockdale honest. Stockdale's run defense, got challenged last week in the first half by West High, but really stood up in the second half.
Borelli, handoff again. Wyrick, the ball carrier, brought down at the 43-yard line, 2-yard gain.
That was a tough 2-yard gain because he got hit right in the hole but was able to bounce off a tackle and pick up a couple more yards. 3rd and 5 here. This is kind of a no man's land for a coach. Do you want to punt it here and maybe pin him deep if it's 4th down? If you're thinking about going for it, then I would expect another run play here. If you think, hey, we don't pick up the first, we're going to punt it, then I would throw for it by them. But we'll see that they have the option to be balanced here, run or pass.
Well, number 17, Deontay Brown at the bottom. Malik Duluth as a scat back, and keeping it is Borelli, and he'll be stopped short of the first down. No gain on the play. It'll be 4th down and 6 to go. Just underway, Independence High School Falcon Stadium. It's a Southwest rivalry between the visiting Stockdale Mustangs at 2-2 and the Independence Falcons at 2-2.
I think that last play was a called quarterback draw over there. But, again, Stockdale's defense really pursues. And, it reminds me when Brett Shelton was playing for Stockdale and coaching against him, how hard he played. And, those guys that are defensive players become good defensive coaches when they're tough like that.
And now we have a timeout, and it will be charged to Independence. So, chance to talk about it. And let's take a look at a couple of few scores around Kern County tonight. Bakersfield opening up not a new stadium, but a revamped stadium and leading Ridgeview 9-0. Bakersfield Christian High School 7, Kennedy 0. And Oaks Christian leads Liberty on the road in Thousand Oaks 14-0.
Some big games in town. Again, Liberty playing the who's who of California high school football, and so is BHS for their preseason. That'll get them ready for a league, but that Southwest Yosemite League looks wide open.
Yeah, it'll be interesting this year.
Centennial played Clovis West very tough last night. The Stockdale team has got some talent, maybe one of the best quarterbacks in town.
And they had Clovis High in the bag and lost a close one. Swing it out to number 17, makes the catch. That is Deontay Brown, and he picks up a first down for the Falcons. Down at the 25-yard line of the Mustangs. Nice little play there.
Yeah, I wish I knew who was lead blocking for him. It looked like Bobby Boucher. He ran over two different guys on that play and just steamrollered them. I mean, very impressive. I think it was one of the linemen got out in front there and just worked him.
Well, as you mentioned, Rich, you and I talked about the fact that a lot of these kids went to junior high together, elementary school, and they're so close that when you get a rivalry like this, you can throw out the records and whoever's playing, they're going to strap it on. They're going to play hard, and breaking it outside is Chris Wyrick, and he's going to take it the distance for a touchdown. A 25-yard touchdown run for Chris Wyrick, number 40. No flags on the play.
Great opening drive by Independence. Balanced through the ball, ran the ball. That was an exceptional cut that kid made. And, they say high school running backs are worth their weight in gold. He's not real heavy, so it might be worth his weight in diamonds.
So 6-0, Independence jumps on top with 8:25 to go. Deontay Brown will hold. The kick is up. And it just squeaked over the crossbar. The extra point is good. Well, we're going to take a break. 8:25 to go, Independence.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
There are over 100 places to get pizza in Kern County, but only 4 are good enough to be called Tony's. So what's the Tony's Pizza difference? We're not giving away our secrets, but the proof is in the pizza. Tony's Spicy Mexicana, the mouth-watering Hawaiian, the award-winning Chili Verde, and so many more. Trust us, you'll find your favorite. If you want great pizza, you can play the numbers game, or you can get it right the first time. Tony's Pizza, 3 locations in Bakersfield and 1 in Shafter.
Welcome back to Independence High School Falcons Stadium. Rick Hutchinson, Rich Cornford. So glad you could join us. Kern High Network, Rich, what a fabulous operation with Stan Green and Kyle, who just doing a phenomenal job, and we appreciate everything they do, getting around to all the high school sports.
Yeah, it's great that we've been able to cover just about everybody in town. It's fun for me to get to see schools play and learn about these kids and different programs and just how alive high school football is in Kern County. Onside kick.
Wow, an onside kick, and Independence may have it. They're claiming they are. Of course, anybody kicks an onside kick's going to claim it right off the bat.
You coach your kids to point in your direction, maybe influence an official, and they're scrapping for that ball under the pile. But, they changed the onside kick rule this year that you can no longer do the one big high hopper, that you have to be able to kick it in a way that gets multiple bounces. But that was a really good job by the Independence kicker there of giving a ball that at least gave him a chance, though it looks like Stockdale recovered it.
Well, Independence claims do not come to fruition, so Stockdale recovers. First down and 10 and our first chance to see the big quarterback, number 19, Jaylon Smith, 6'1", 180. The lone setback is Killen Davidson, number 21. And Smith airs it out on the first play on the right sideline. Overthrown.
Yeah, overthrown just by a matter of inches. Boy, if you want to watch a pretty ball, watch Jaylon Smith and the spin he puts on that ball. He's a kid that hasn't played quarterback his entire life, just started off about a year and a half ago. But, boy, just a great natural athlete.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how he got the number 19, but, maybe he's going back to the old Johnny Unitas days.
Does he have black high-top cleats on?
Smith in the gun. On the reverse, number 4, Zachary Green, and he is dropped for a loss. Actually going to spot it at the 41 of the Mustangs.
Boy, this Independence High defense come to play early. They sniffed that counter play out and were deep in the backfield, tackled it for a big loss. But, hey, I saw last week Jaylon Smith converted at least 5 or 6 third and longs. So if they give him time to throw, he's going to pick you apart. So if I'm Independence, I've got to believe I've got to find a way to get some pressure on him.
3rd down and 14. Smith in the gun.
Moving to an empty set here.
Smith looking. Threw it up in the air, and it's batted down. Wow, an interesting toss there.
Yeah, you put pressure on a quarterback, and sometimes they do funny things. I think he pulled that out of Brett Favre's playbook, but he put a little bit too much air under that thing. If you're going to shoot it out there, you got to put some velocity behind it. That one was a 50-50 ball, and they're fortunate to be able to call on their punt team. Evidently, we had some penalty on Independence.
Yes, it is a penalty against Independence. And Stockdale will keep the ball, advancing it into Falcon territory at the 44-yard line.
Boy, and I'll just tell you, as a coach, that's heartbreaking because you work so hard. You get off the field on 3rd and long, you think, and then you give them a freebie. So, for Stockdale, they have to establish a running game. It's been tough for them most of the year.
Smith swings it out. Catch made by number 6. Evan Burkhardt bangs off one defender and is finally driven out of bounds by number 17, Deontay Brown, but a first down to the 25-yard line. A gain of 19 on the play.
Well, and Burkhardt leads the team in touchdown catches with 4 and total receptions coming to this game with 13. They like to throw a lot of short stuff to him, and you see why. He broke the initial tackle and was one step away from taking it the distance.
10th in Division II. Of course, Stockdale Division II in CIF. And Independence Division III. Handoff straight ahead to number 21. That's Killen Davidson. Wrapped up at the 23-yard line. A gain of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
Davidson's a good, dependable runner. He averaged over 4 yards a carry last week against West High, helped them grind out the win in the end there. But they know their strength is throwing the ball, but they have to keep this Independence defense honest. They can't let these Independence defensive linemen just pass rush all night long.
And you saw more balance out of Stockdale last week at home against West. And penalty markers down on the field. And it will be encroachment against Independence.
One area where West High struggled last week against Stockdale was in the pass rush department. They could get no pressure on them, and it really looks like Independence is trying to time their blitzes and mix up their pressures.
So 2nd down and 8, swing it out. High lofting pass caught, but virtually going nowhere with the reception is 21, Davidson.
Well, that Independence playing cover 0, putting a lot of pressure on them. And there was actually, they blew the coverage there. Nobody took the back out, but there was so much pressure on Smith, he had to loft the ball pretty high. And the corner playing man-to-man on the receiver was able to come off and make a play on that. Typically, that shouldn't happen. A guy playing man-to-man with his back to the ball shouldn't be able to make that play, but because of the loft on it, he was.
Well, timeout on the field, charge to Independence. That's their second, Rich, with 6:02 to go in the opening quarter, so they're down to 1 timeout.
And that could come back to haunt them, but you don't want to be in the wrong coverage against Jaylon Smith in this Stockdale offense. Last thing you want to do on 3rd and 7 is give them an easy first down. They've already done that once with a penalty. So Coach Lucero knows that, hey, they're right on the edge of field goal range here. If they can get a stop, it's huge. So if if you're in a situation in doubt, take that timeout and make sure you got the right defense in.
So 6:02 to go in the opening quarter. It'll be 3rd down and 6 for the Mustangs and a 7-0 lead for Independence. after the Stockdale penalty on the kickoff. Stockdale had to kick off a second time, and Independence able to get a nice drive going and getting that touchdown run from Chris Wyrick.
Okay, they got man-to-man coverage.
Smith back to pass, pressure all over, rolls to his left, fires down the middle, a beautiful pass and a touchdown. Wow, what a nice pass.
Touchdown, Stockdale.
And the catch is made by number
Brandon Dunn, I believe.
Yep, Brandon Dunn.
So that's his second touchdown catch of the year. And boy, you see again the strength of Jaylon Smith, his ability to escape from pressure and deliver a ball up there, throwing across his body, kind of like a second baseman would do, which is what he plays in baseball.
And on to try the extra point is Souza, and that is blocked. So the extra point attempt is blocked. And with 5:52 to go, it's Independence 7, Stockdale 6 on Kern High Network. We'll take a break.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
There are over 100 places to get pizza in Kern County, but only 4 are good enough to be called Tony's. So what's the Tony's pizza difference? We're not giving away our secrets, but the proof is in the pizza. Tony's Spicy Mexicana, the mouth-watering Hawaiian, the award-winning Chili Verde, and so many more. Trust us, you'll find your favorite. If you want great pizza, you can play the numbers game, or you can get it right the first time. Tony's Pizza, 3 locations in Bakersfield and 1 in Shafter.
And welcome back to Falcon Stadium. 55-yard drive for the Stockdale Mustangs, capped off by the touchdown pass from Jaylon Smith to Brandon Dunn, and its extra point was blocked, so 7-6 Falcons. And taking it from the 15 is number 4, Malik Duluth, and he runs into a bevy of defensive players.
Yeah, Stockdale did a good job that time with the coverage. The previous time, Duluth had tried to break it far to the right and had some success there. This time he takes it straight ahead, and Stockdale's there to make the tackle. So kind of what we predicted, both offenses, success early on here. Which guy's going to blink?
So first down and 10 from the 30-yard line. Well, Independence had a tough one against Tulare Union, number 3.
A lot of
ranked.
people will have a tough one against Tulare Union this year.
But they really battled tough. Tulare Union just made some big plays. And swing it out and incomplete. Duluth tried to pick it up, but it was ruled incomplete.
Yeah, trying to hit Aubrey Jones there. They're getting Nick Maiden is trying to time his blitzes up front there, and I think Independent's solution to that is to throw it out wide. They've had some success there, but that time the receiver couldn't hang on.
So it'll be second down and 10. Borelli still at quarterback. Haven't seen the senior, Zach Castellon, rotate in yet.
Little wing set here from the pistol. They use that wing for misdirection.
The give is to number 4, Duluth, a little scat back. And he fights his way out to the 42-yard line. A gain of 12 on the play, and he picks up the first down for the Falcons. Nice little run play there.
Yeah, and Stockdale's been having trouble now with the misdirection. That's 2 good runs off of it, including the touchdown run that they had earlier. So good job by Coach Lucero of mixing things up. Makes it tough to defend when you've got to worry about, all parts of the field, and you got a tough wide receiver. You got multiple guys that can carry the ball. So good balance right now for Independence offense.
So first down and 10, Independence on their own 42-yard line. Chris Wyrick, the lone setback, number 40. Sergio Borelli in the gun. 3-step drop, fires out to the right flat, and incomplete pass to number 17, Deontay Brown, with the coverage there by Hudson Sabol.
Yeah, Sable's a two-way player. He's just a sophomore. Excellent wide receiver and good defensive back for Stockdale. You love to have those sophomores, man, knowing that you're going to have them for a couple more years. They'll bring leadership to your program in the future and, stability. Wing set again. Watch for some misdirection or a boot off of it.
With number 4, Malik Duluth. He'll get the ball again. Bounces outside. Nice little juke. Still on his feet and finally driven out of bounds. What a nifty runner that is. Reminds me of a lot of Tariq Cohen for the Chicago Bears, who, by the way, didn't get me very many points last night. I was very disappointed, but same size, 5'6".
Boy, and great hips, man. The move that he just put on there and a little Walter Payton stutter, very impressive.
So another first down for the Falcons at the 38 of the Mustangs, and another nice drive with under 5 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Borelli back in the gun. Little roll to the right, throws and nearly picked off, and right there to deliver the hit is number 10, Brandon Dunn. He really laid the lumber on number 17, Deontay Brown.
Yeah, that ball was close to being intercepted. Most of what Independence has done throwing the ball has been side to side. That was a chance for them to go down the field a little bit, but dangerous. They're lucky to have that one back.
So second down and 10. Deontay Brown out to the right. Ramon Henderson at the top of our screen. And the ball's given to the first back through, Chris Wyrick, number 40. Brought down at the 30.
Well, that Independence offensive line is doing some work. I know Coach is very high on him. Devin Zinn, senior offensive line leader, and Luke Galvez definitely moving people off. And then you have junior in there, or another senior, Lance Henderson. So 3 seniors anchoring that line with leadership, and it doesn't matter who you're putting it back or who you're handing it to, they're getting yards.
Absolutely. Third down and 3. Borelli will keep it, and he will go nowhere. Excuse me, that was not Borelli. That was number 10.
Who's not on our roster.
Who's not on our roster, unfortunately. We're
sorry.
sorry.
Well, that's pretty sneaky, isn't it?
It'll be 4th down and short. Now, the last time Independence on their opening drive had 4th down and 6, they got a big play, and then they were able to cash in on the ensuing play and the touchdown run by Wyrick. So let's see what happens here.
Quarterback's under center. Watch for a sneak. There we go.
With the keeper, number 10, trying to push the pile. It's going to be close, but I think he got it, Rich.
I think they were pushing that pile, pulling that pile. Saw a little bit of everything in there. And yeah, the big tip-off there was him going under center instead of being in the pistol. In that situation, you automatically think a sneak is coming. It worked for him.
So number 10 with the sneak, able to pick up the first down, and now number 8, Sergio Borelli. I can almost bet that that's Zach Castellan, who maybe switch numbers tonight, the senior. We'll have to see. Borelli back in the shotgun. Brown and Henderson, the wideouts. Borelli flushed out and throws and nearly intercepted by number 6, Evan Burkhardt, but he trapped it, so it'll be second down.
And we see a good pressure there by Nick Maiden, the Stockdale captain. Again, timing his blitzes. They're sending him consistently. And, when you got a senior, a returning starter, a guy that is going to be an all-league type player, you want to set that guy free and let him use his abilities. And Nick does a good job of timing snap counts and putting pressure on.
Second down and 10. Wyrick in the backfield. Duluth in the slot. Give it to Duluth, and he is grabbed, and they still can't get him down, but we'll credit number 70 with the tackle. Joseph Hauser, one of their big seniors, 6'4", 245.
Yeah, that's perfect size for a high school football player right over there. He's mobile. He's obviously in great shape. He plays both ways, plays hard on both sides of the line over there. big play there. So 3rd and 10. This is where those Stockdale Mustangs can really pin their ears back, and I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't send Nick Maiden on another blitz.
3rd and 10 from the 26 of the Mustangs. And Stockdale may have jumped here. Penalty marker on the near sideline.
I'm bragging about how well Nick Maiden times it. He didn't time that one so well. Good job by Independence going a hard count, getting a free 5 yards. Now, again, I think they're in a situation where this 4-down territory, they don't necessarily have to throw the ball. 3rd and 10, you probably have to. 3rd and 5 or 6, you can run it if you're planning on going for it on 4th down.
3rd down and 5. Borelli in the gun. Brown and Henderson, the wideouts. Wyrick in the backfield. And penalty marker thrown down, and it's going to be false start against the Falcons. So you give and you take.
They gave it right back. Yeah, Nick's Madden showing blitz over there and made somebody flinch.
3rd down and 10 now. Back where we started at the 26. 2:04 to go in the first quarter. Final tune-up before both teams start league. Independence to host Tehachapi next Friday night, and Stockdale hosting Centennial as both teams get league action underway.
Ooh.
And now another penalty marker. Now it's a delay of game against Independence.
Well, you went from a 3rd and 5 or 6 to a 3rd and 15 or 16. In this situation, what I'm probably thinking is I'm going to throw it to my best football player, Ramon Henderson, try and get him isolated one-on-one if possible, and give him a shot. If he doesn't make it, then I suppose you could punt from here, or you could go again. So, if you're planning again on 4-down territory, this might be a screen pass situation too.
3rd down and 15. 3 receivers to the left. He's going to swing it out to Malik Duluth, getting outside. Nice shoestring tackle to save a big gain and possibly a touchdown. Stops made by number 40. 42, Nick Maiden.
Yeah, he can play sideline to sideline. And, again, the ball's right at the 30 right now. I don't think they've got a kicker that can kick a 47-yard field goal. So they're going to go for it on 4th and 12. Now they have to throw for chunk yardage. We've seen them throw the ball side to side 75-80% of their throws, but they've got to go down the field here on this one.
So 4th down and 13. 3 receivers to the right. Borelli throws, and it is caught, and nearly getting in for the touchdown is number 17, Deontay Brown, but he stepped out of bounds at the 4-yard line. Nice pass there by Borelli.
It was a nice pass. I don't know if somebody messed up their route or not, though, because we had 2 Independence receivers that looked like they could both catch it. They were both open in the same spot over there, and now somebody just got a penalty.
And we'll see what it is here. One thing that Coach Shelton said is he's tired of the penalties, and he emphasized all week in practice that we're going to cut the penalties out, stop hurting ourselves, and the penalty is against Stockdale, so that will advance the ball half the distance to the goal.
Well, this is where you need your senior leader, Nick Maiden, to step up and take control of that defense and say, hey, enough is enough. 1st and goal from the 2 is not a situation you want to just allow your opponent to be in. Whoever that penalty was on, they get one more and they're gone. We got a wishbone set here. It's going to be a while before the snap because they're still talking to Coach Shelton over there explaining the penalty. But double tight wishbone set. Looks like Oklahoma circa 1983.
And number 10 back in at quarterback. He is the runner. So we'll see what transpires here. 1st down, a goal to go from the 2. Independence looking to build on that 1-point lead, and now it looked like movement on the offensive line, and it certainly is. So a 5-yard penalty will move the ball back to the 7-yard line.
Boy, and how often do you see that? You got the ball 1st and goal at the 2, and somebody jumps. I know when I was in high school, we used to run a similar set, a T formation, and we always went on set so that we would never, ever have that deal, and that's still something I remember to this day.
I miss the days of the true wishbone. Handoff straight ahead to number 34, Rene Marino. He'll get to the 3-yard line. He'll pick up 4. It'll be second down and goal.
I'm old enough to have played in the old Southwest Conference when we had Oklahoma and Arkansas both running the wishbone against us with some pretty darn good quarterbacks. And being a Taft guy, Taft College used to run some of that stuff.
Oh, yeah. Taft High ran it for years in the 70s with Ed Burke. And keeping it is Castellon. He will not get in, but he does get to about the 1-yard line. So third down and goal to go. Just trying to push up under his center there.
Well, they're going to have a lot of time to think about it as the quarter ends.
So 1 quarter concluded here at Falcon Stadium, a Southwest rivalry between Stockdale and Independence. Independence 7, Stockdale 6. And your thoughts so far, Rich, about what we've seen? Both teams playing at a high level with high intensity, and we got a tight one here.
Yeah, but I haven't had a chance to watch Independence play, but very impressed with Coach Lucero and his squad, and just the way that they are dissecting and working the ball down the field, counters and swing passes, throwing the ball down the field now, multiple quarterbacks. It's a tough offense to stop and to handle, and Stockdale's having a difficult time. But, when you're in this situation, 4th and 1, defensively it is tough because you can't take away everything when all they need is a yard. So you got to really have scouted them well and figure out, hey, are they going to run inside, they're going to go outside, or might they throw here? So tough call for Coach Shelton.
Yeah, it's got to be a nightmare to try and defend all the misdirection. Well, let's take a look. First of all, let's thank all our KHSD sponsors. So many people to thank: Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, the U.S. Army, PAV Solar and Communication, Premier Lighting, Tony's Pizza, and Raymond's Trophies. We appreciate all their sponsorship for Kern High School District Athletics here on Kern High Network. Some important games to get you up to date on. Bakersfield 9, Ridgeview 2, so Ridgeview able to pick up a safety. Bakersfield Christian now 21, Kennedy nothing. In Thousand Oaks, it's Oaks Christian 21, Liberty nothing.
And Independence just went in with a dive play for the score there, so finishing off that drive very well.
So a touchdown run for Independence to take the 13-6 lead. And on to try the extra point is number 45. And the kick is up, and this time it's definitely good.
Well, he made that one by about 8 yards. The first one made it by about 8 inches.
So, nice drive by Independence. They cash in with the 1-yard touchdown plunge. 11:56 to go in the second. 14-6. Independence on top of Stockdale. We'll take a break on the Kern High Network.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
There are over 100 places to get pizza in Kern County, but only 4 are good enough to be called Tony's. So what's the Tony's Pizza difference? We're not giving away our secrets, but the proof is in the pizza. Tony's Spicy Mexicana, the mouth-watering Hawaiian, the award-winning Chili Verde, and so many more. Trust us, you'll find your favorite. If you want great pizza, you can play the numbers game, or you can get it right the first time. Tony's Pizza, 3 locations in Bakersfield and 1 in Shafter.
And welcome back, Falcon Stadium. We got a good one early in the second quarter, and Independence just cashed in with a 1-yard touchdown run by Rene Moreno, and the extra point is good, so 14-6. And now Stockdale on the return. It'll be number 6, Evan Burkhardt, And he will fight for yardage out to the 35-yard line. First down and 10. Tackle made by number 5, Luis Alvarez.
15-yard return by number 6, Evan Burkhardt.
15-yard return for Burkhardt.
So we'll see Stockdale's response here. They got decent field position here at the 35. Ball's right in the middle of the field. Jaylon Smith coming in here after throwing 4 touchdowns last week. He's already got 1 tonight. More of a power set here, double tight.
The give is to 21, Davidson, and nice little run out to the 40-yard line. He'll pick up 5. Second down and 5, driven out of bounds. They'll make it the 41-yard line, so a gain of 6.
So a different look there by Stockdale, using a fullback and a tight end at the same time over here. A look that maybe Independence hadn't seen yet.
Second down and 4. Smith fakes it, throws out to the right, and the receiver stopped, but penalty flags down. Looks like he was more than likely held there by number 2, Braden Gordon.
Yeah, we got 2 flags over there. I think that's what messed the route up and why the ball was overthrown some, is he was getting hung on to.
Pass interference, Independence.
So pass interference is the indication against Independence.
Boy, Smith does a really nice ball on his deep ball. He puts a lot of air under it, which if you've got one-on-one coverage really allows your receiver to adjust to it in the air. The receiver's able to see the ball better than the DB because the DB typically has his back to it. So a great strategy, great technique by him to put air under the ball there.
So first down and 10. Here's the handoff. Davidson going right and nowhere to go. Leading the defensive charge, number 6.
And again, Independence has rotated the numbers on a lot of their football players from the roster that we have. But that was a heck of a play by number 6. I'd love to be able to tell you who he was, give him some props.
Well, loss of 2 on the play, second down and 12. And you got to credit Independence. Said they played Tulare Union tough for a large part of that game, but they got hurt on the big plays. They've come out and they've really battled here tonight and has the lead. Smith back to pass, airs it out, and it is nearly intercepted. It was intended for number 2, Adrian Herrera, but it was nearly intercepted.
David Hernandez.
Brandon Dunn actually was the intended receiver.
Third down.
So broken up by Braden Gordon. Third down and 12.
All right, again, Smith is dangerous. We've already seen him throw a touchdown pass from this situation tonight. You got to keep him in the pocket. You cannot let him break contain, and because he still looks to throw the ball down the field.
And penalty marker down. We'll see if Independence jumped or if it's a false start on Stockdale. And this time Independence did jump, so 5-yard penalty will make it third down and 7. And 2 teams playing so hard, so much emotion, Rich, but the coaches just have to be livid with all the penalties.
Yeah, it's something that you work on and you preach, and these kids have been playing football, probably a lot of them since they were 8 years old. They know that they need to watch that ball, but your emotions get the best of you, and you're trying to get a little bit of an edge by jumping the snap count.
Brandon Dunn at the top of the screen, and swing it out to Kylan Davidson. Turns the corner and gets stuck and driven out of bounds. There's a penalty flag back at the 34-yard line.
Might be for linemen downfield. I'm not sure if that ball was behind the line of scrimmage. In high school ball, you can go downfield if it's thrown behind the line of scrimmage.
Holding.
No, they called a holding.
Holding against the Mustangs.
Well, that was a good call. They had set that thing up well, and you saw all the space that he had. But
that will move the ball back to the Falcon 44.
Well, again, a critical drive for Stockdale. They've struggled to stop Independence offensively. They need to keep putting points on the board. Come out in a wide trips formation to the right.
3rd down, about 12. Smith back to pass. Now decides to keep it, and he is pulled down. Nice defensive play by number 5, Luis Alvarez.
Quarterback sacked by number 50.
Boy, when you put pressure on a quarterback, and you cover a few guys, sometimes the guy runs open, but the quarterback's got too much pressure to go through his normal progression. I think they might have had a guy open there that Jaylon just couldn't see.
So Stockdale will be forced to punt for the first time in the game. Back deep to return for the Falcons is number 11, Ramon Henderson. Let's see if they kick to him. Nice hang time. And Stockdale will down it. So Henderson will not get the chance. Ball down at the 13-yard line. 1st down and 10 Independence with a 14-6 lead and 9:47 to go here in the first half. So from what you've seen so far, do you see Stockdale changing their game plan a little bit? You mentioned that coming out in a different set on offense.
Well, I think they're trying to establish a run game. That's going to be critical for them to be balanced so that Independence doesn't just put their ears back and pass rush all night long. Defensively, they're going to need to adjust a little bit too, and there we see, again, I think that's Nick Maiden knifing through to make a big play for a loss, timing his blitzes.
So Nick Maiden with a defensive play. No gain. 2nd down and 10. Borelli back in at quarterback. Getting the play.
Well, I'd like to know how much of this is Nick Maiden kind of freelancing or how much of it is by design. Some kids just have a great knack and nose for the football, and he is around it every single play.
Deontay Brown at the top of the screen on the Stockdale sideline. Borelli, quick pass out to Henderson. Able to finally get him the ball, and he's driven out of bounds by number 11, Hudson Sabol, as well as number 56, Chris Cherry.
So a very positive play for Independence to pick up 7 yards there on 2nd or 11, brings up 3rd down and short.
It'll be about 3rd down and about 4.
You always talk about staying in front of the chains. Those teams that shoot themselves in the foot and get penalties, and it's 2nd and 15. It's hard to play offense that way. When you got 3rd and 3s and 3rd and 4s, you're going to be successful.
3rd down and 4. The give is to number 40, Wyrick, and he is wrapped up at the 25. Gain of a yard, so it'll end up being 4th down and 3.
Huge stop for the Stockdale Mustangs. That's the first time they've stopped them on 3rd down, I believe. Independence not showing a punt formation here. This could be a huge play in the game. If they may just try to draw them off sides because Stockdale has jumped. They've still got a timeout left if they needed to do that, or just take the 5-yard penalty if you need to do that. But
and you pick up the 1st down, so like you said, we'll see if they try to get him to jump. Borelli's going to keep it, and he's going to go nowhere, and Stockdale's going to take over on down. So, boy, that completely backfired there, Coach.
Well, I'm pretty sure they were just trying to make him jump, but the center heard something else and snapped the ball. And Coach Lucero is scratching his head over there, thinking, what's going on? And, I have seen that happen before. It happened to us one time against Centennial where our guy snapped it out the back of the end zone. So, you work on these things, you think it's completely safe. Hey, we're just going to either draw them off sides or we'll call a timeout. And then something that like that happens. Now Stockdale's got the ball at the 23-yard line in a close game.
So Stockdale with great field position, 23-yard line of Independence, trailing 14-6 with 7:27 to go in the half. And Smith's pass is off the hands of number 6, Evan Burkhardt, and a penalty against Stockdale to boot.
Boy, a game of inches there. They got the penalty, but that was a good call versus the man coverage running the out route over there. Had him open, just slightly overthrew him over there. Penalty obviously would have negated it anyway, but 1st and 20, and I'm thinking that Stockdale is going to be forced now to chuck the ball for the next few downs.
1st down and 20. Ball spotted on the 34 of the Falcons. Jaylon Smith, hands off, and going nowhere is number 6, Evan Burkhardt.
Independence continues to play cover 0, daring Stockdale to try and run deep. But I think Independence feels like they've just got better athletes in the defensive backfield than maybe Stockdale does out wide as far as speed-wise. And sometimes you run that fly sweep there on a long yardage situation when guys are thinking pass rush. They end up pass rushing right into it, which I think happened last time.
And a fine defensive play by outside linebacker Alec De La Rosa. Smith gets it out to Burkhardt, breaks the tackle, and will finally be brought down inside the 25 at the 23-yard line.
That's a great play for Stockdale. It got them half the yardage that they needed. It actually, makes it a possibility that they can convert on 3rd down, puts them close to field goal range if they need that. That's the same route that they'd ran earlier that they had just barely missed. So good call to come back to that and hit it. Now you've got the right side will be the wide side of the field. If they want to roll Jaylon Smith out or drop him back. Sometimes you need to roll him out to change the launch point so the defensive pass rushers don't have an easy target to aim for.
So it'll be 3rd down and 11. Smith in the gun. Drops back. Now he's going to keep it. Points to his blockers to block, and he'll take it to the house himself. Touchdown, Jaylon Smith. And Mustangs crawl within 2, and a nice read by Smith.
Well, you see the Jaylon Smith show. There you're so worried about his arm. He's not typically a guy that runs for a lot of yardage. He scrambles and moves around in order to throw the ball. 3rd and 12 situation, though, he saw an opening, attacked it, and then was able to make 2 guys miss down the field to put that ball in the end zone.
So we'll see if Stockdale will go for 2 here. 14-12, Independence, 5:43 to go. And they're calling a play here, so.
Yeah, that was interesting. I know Independence went with at least a cover 1 there. Might have been a cover 3 zone look. They got out of their 0 and they gave up a big play.
So Smith out of the gun and plays blown dead. And false start against Stockdale. So the 2-point conversion will now be from the 8-yard line, Rich.
Boy, sometimes you chase these points early on. And boy, it always comes back to haunt you when you miss an extra point. Doesn't matter at what level, you know that it's going to end up biting you. And it's already biting Stockdale right now. Last kick got blocked, so I don't know how much confidence they have in their field goal unit here.
So Nick Souza on to try the PAT from about 24 yards out. Certainly not an easy PAT attempt, but he knocks it right through. So Souza the extra point. Stockdale settles for 1 after the penalty. 5:43 to go in the second quarter. It's Independence 14, Stockdale 13, and we'll take a break on the KHSD network.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
There are over 100 places to get pizza in Kern County, but only 4 are good enough to be called Tony's. So what's the Tony's pizza difference? We're not giving away our secrets, but the proof is in the pizza. Tony's Spicy Mexicana, the mouth-watering Hawaiian, the award-winning Chili Verde, and so many more. Trust us, you'll find your favorite. If you want great pizza, you can play the numbers game, or you can get it right the first time. Tony's Pizza. 3 locations in Bakersfield and 1 in Shafter.
And welcome back to Falcon Stadium. Once again, Rick Hudgens and Rich Cornford proud to be here on the Kern High Network, covering all local sports for the high schools in Kern County. And we'd like to thank our sponsors, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, the United States Army, PAV Solar and Communication, Premier Lighting, Tony's Pizza, and Raymond's Trophies.
Ramon Henderson going to get a chance here.
Henderson on the return. We have not seen much of him tonight. He's been bottled up, and he will be knocked back, but forward progress to the 30 and a penalty marker down at the 33-yard line, and we'll see what.
20-yard return by number 11.
Well, a heck of a throw by the official there. He threw that thing about 25 yards over there. So whatever he saw, he was all fired up and let that thing fly.
So it's going to be a dead ball personal foul against Independence.
So now Stockdale's defense got their first stop last time, got fortunate on that 4th down play, but they did force a 4th down. Now Independence way back in their own territory is going to have to try and get back like they were the first couple drives when they moved the ball steadily down the field.
Washington State, USC, Washington State 10, USC 7.
5:34 to go. It's been a very good game. Both teams trying to make some adjustments.
Watch for some kind of counter here with that wing set.
Borelli. Handoff to number 4, Malik Duluth, and he is absolutely stood up on the far sideline.
Handoff to Duluth, in 2 yards.
Well, that was a great tackle by the Stockdale defender. We always, teach accelerate into the hit, and he certainly did there. Wrapped him up, took him back, a nice, clean, legal shot. Very well coached by the Stockdale Mustangs coaching staff over there.
Well, these small backs, Malik Duluth, who's more of the scab back, 5'5", 115, and Armani Dinwiddie, number 30, who we haven't seen tonight after running for 96 yards last week against Tulare Union. Small, but extremely tough. And now a penalty marker in the backfield, and it's another penalty against Independence.
Well, we saw Stockdale rack up some penalties in the first quarter. Independence is now starting to catch up to them here in the second quarter, shooting themselves in the foot. And again, their offense has got some explosiveness to it, but they do not want to be in a 2nd and 14 situation. Just limit your playbook, limit your options.
So Borelli out of the gun. Only threw the ball 4 times last week, was 2 of 4. Throws down the middle, wide open. Catch is made by Aubrey Jones, and tackle comes up short, and Aubrey Jones is going to take it the distance. A quick strike of 86 yards from Sergio Borelli to Aubrey Jones.
Well, maybe they do want to be in a 2nd and 14 situation. Showed a little bit of explosiveness there. I think that was something that they had probably seen on film, and they designed a play to specifically exploit that defense. But we got the officials gathering around here.
This one may be coming back. An 86-yard catch and run from Borelli to Jones, and it will be called back. Tough call.
Yeah, that's a heartbreaker right there. You have that explosive of play. Everything looked pretty clean from up here. I'm not exactly sure what the penalty was for, but tough break for Independence High. You game plan for that. You're in the situation. You got the coverage you want. You execute it almost perfectly, except somebody did something wrong.
Well, he was absolutely wide open down the middle and was off to the races, but the penalty will negate the touchdown and will move the ball back to the 6-yard line.
I know Coach Lucero is trying to get some clarification on what that was. Where you don't get mulligans.
So it'll be 3rd down. Borelli in the gun. Rolls to his left, pressure all over, and down in the end zone. He's getting up. Stockdale player, we thought there was an injury, but he was just taking his time getting up. So it'll be 4th down, and safe to say this time, Rich, they're going to have to punt out of the back of their end zone.
Yeah, so 2 straight stops for Stockdale. They got a little help with the penalties on this drive, but that's part of football. So they're going to get the ball in good field position here with about 4:12 to go. So the clock is no issue whatsoever for them at this stage. And Independence has to go into their tight punt formation.
And Stockdale with all 3 timeouts, Independence with 1. So Burkhardt set to return. He'll scoop it up at the 44 down the middle and brought down at the 30-yard line.
So we're seeing Stockdale start to control the field position here. This is the 2nd straight drive. They've gotten great field position. Let's see what they can do. They got a chance to go into the locker room with the lead here.
Tackles made by number 10, Zach Castellan, wearing number 10. You might see on the roster he's number 16, but he did the switcheroo as well. He's wearing number 10.
Made by 81, Charles Williams.
And number 81, Charles Williams.
All right.
Charles Williams wearing 81. He was 44 on our roster. Swing it out, Smith, caught by number 11, Hudson Sabol, still on his feet. And Sabol is going to take it in for the touchdown. Fighting all the way to pay dirt is Hudson Sabol. And what did you see defensively on that play there, Rich?
Well, they continue to run that out route to the left flat. That's the 3rd time we've seen them do it in about 8 or 9 plays here. So they've seen a matchup that they like. We saw Hudson make a good clean catch, but then he broke a tackle. And maybe that's what they see, that they feel like they can, make the one guy miss or break a tackle there and take it the distance, which they obviously did on that play. So it looks like now they're going to try and go for 2 again, which would put them up by 7. Last time they tried to do this, they jumped off sides and they ended up kicking the extra point.
So 19-14, Mustangs take the lead for the first time in the game. They'll go for 2. In the backfield is number 42, Nick Maiden. And timeout, Stockdale. They'll spin one of their 3 with 3:50 to go. 19-14, Stockdale. So, Rich, wow, momentum is such a killer. It can be good for you, and it can hurt you. And we saw it there with Independence getting the penalty, having to punt it away, and then Stockdale able to cash in immediately.
Well, really a 14-point swing when you consider the points that were taken off the board over there, and then within a minute of that, Stockdale puts those points on their board. And, 14-point swings. Whew.
So we'll see what happens here in the 2-point conversion. We'd like to thank all our Kern High School District Superintendents, Dr. Brian Schaefer, Assistant Superintendent of Instruction, Dr. Brenda Lewis, Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services and Innovative Programs, Dr. Dean McGee, and Director of School Support Services, Stan Green, the guy who makes the Kern High Network go, along with his partner, Kyle.
All right, big play here, trying to get back on track. Every week you have 1 or 2 2-point conversion plays that you practice.
Fake to Maiden, Smith on the rollout, fires, and it's caught.
And a flag down.
And a penalty flag back at the 6.
You had linemen standing in the end zone, which makes it a pretty easy call, I think.
Yep. Legal man downfield.
Well, I think the mascot over there, or the tunnel, it's getting deflated right now. I was thinking the Falcons looked a little deflated if that one had counted. But again, now I think Stockdale's going to be forced to kick the extra point again here after another penalty on the 2-point try.
So back to the 8-yard line on the last drive after the touchdown. Tried.
Maybe not. Maybe they figure we got Jaylon Smith and you don't. We're going to go for 2 from 13 yards out.
Well, we've seen Jaylon Smith run for a long touchdown. We've seen him pass for 2, and now we'll see what happens here. Smith throws down the middle, and wide open is number 44, Tanner Williford, the tight end, and Williford will make it 21-14.
Nice bit of deception over there. I mean, they've got 3 receivers, all pretty balanced, and then they go to the tight end, Tanner Williford, who hasn't really been thrown a target that much, but well-designed play. You know, I think Independence bid a little bit on play action, you know, when it's 12 yards to go. Jaylon Smith threw a strike.
Yeah, Tanner Williford with the touchdown, the big tight end.
31-yard drive.
31-yard drive.
Yeah, when he says big tight end, 6'4", 200 definitely counts as big tight end. You love that height on those guys running those inside seam routes.
Two-point conversion is good.
So set to send it away will be Nick Souza, and we'll see if Ramon Henderson will get a touch here. He's the deep man on the 5-yard line. 21-14 Mustangs, 3:50 to go.
And with 1 timeout, that is plenty of time for Independence to mount a drive, though they don't have a real strong kicking game. Oh, boy.
And Ramon Henderson.
They called it a touchback, though. I think he just got bailed out. I have seen that happen before, too. Well, you know, you're running that direction, you try to field the ball, and you step out at the 1 or 2 yard line, and as a coach, you're thinking, hey, just let that ball go. It's either going to go out of bounds or in the end zone. Either case is better than having it at the 1 or 2. So they got fortunate that got called a touchback.
Well, we'll see how this resilient Falcons team responds here with 3:48 to go. See if they can get Ramon Henderson involved on the offensive end. Just a couple of touches. Borelli in the shotgun. Lone setback is Chris Wyrick. Deontay Brown and Henderson, the wideouts. And the give is to number 4, and he will go nowhere. Malik Duluth. Stockdale did a great job of sniffing that one out.
Yeah, they did. Again, Nick Maiden right there in the middle of things, wrecking havoc. He showed blitz on one side of the nose guard, moved to the other side, and you know, I think they got to let him freelance a little bit. I think they're playing cover 4 behind him. They're having the other backer just play the middle over there. So been very effective here in this second quarter.
So 2nd down and 12. Loss of 2 on the play. And now officials will stop play. There's a penalty flag down on the field.
I think somebody must have lined up in the neutral zone would be my guess there. I always liked when officials warned me about that so we can back the kid up. That preventative officiating. But if he's in the neutral zone, it is a penalty.
So 5-yard penalty. That'll make it 2nd down and 7. Much more manageable now for Sergio Borelli. Borelli, 3-step drop down deep, looking for number 12, Aubrey Jones, and overshoots him. On the coverage is number 11, Hudson Sabol. 3rd down and 7.
Rick, that Independence offensive line did a really good job there of protecting the quarterback. Gave him plenty of time to throw, allowed him to set his feet. You know, they got a one-on-one matchup, and they just missed it. But in this, you know, this stage of the game, you want to take those shots if anytime you can get one-on-one and good protection.
So 3rd down and 7. Duluth in the slot and tried to throw it to him, and too tall and nearly intercepted.
Another big stop for the Stockdale defense here. You know, they're going to get the ball back with 2:38 to go. They've got a couple timeouts left. They got maybe one of the most explosive quarterbacks in town leading it. I mean, coach has got to feel good about his situation here. You know, it looked a little bleak there early on for him, but their defense has really risen to the occasion, led by Nick Maiden.
Mason Wright nearly had the pickoff there. And Burkhardt back to receive. Nice punt. that will be downed inside the 30. So no return by Burkhardt. And a first down and 10 for the Mustangs. They have 2 timeouts remaining and 2:27 to go in the first half here. Well, we've just seen Stockdale take the lead for the first time in the game at 21-14. And Independence going to be called upon to play tough defense here.
That Stockdale offense is hitting on all cylinders. They had a little trouble early on. They were, I think, trying to balance the run the pass. These last few drives, they've just basically thrown it and said, stop our man. And Independence hasn't been able to stop it. Independence is back in this cover 0. They're not playing any kind of prevent. They got everybody within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage.
So Dunn and Sabol at the bottom of the screen. Smith is going to be sacked. Tucks away the ball. But a nice defensive play there by number 54, Devin Zinn, one of those big seniors, 6'3", 235, Rich.
Yeah, and again, the luxury of playing cover 0 is you get to rush 5, sometimes 6 guys, and get pressure. They had all the lanes covered there. There was no escape route for Jaylon Smith, and everybody was covered downfield. So it's a high risk, high reward type defense. And it looks like they're in it again. They've been best when they've been in cover 0 tonight.
Second down and 13. 4 receivers swing it out to Burkhardt, number 6. Burkhardt waits for a block and then is strung out and is brought down by Ramon Henderson, number 11. Loss back to the 23, 2-yard loss. It's going to be third down and 15, and timeout Stockdale. So they'll use their second timeout, 1 remaining here. So far, Independence responding defensively now. What do you think Coach Shelton is telling his team over there on the offensive side?
Well, he's gonna talk about protection. If they can give their quarterback some time to throw, it'll be interesting. Last time Independence, got a couple stops and then went into a different coverage, a little what you would think safer coverage, and they got picked apart. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them in cover 0 and sending pressure again. That's been their best defense all night. They've got athletes. They've got one of the faster secondaries I've seen all year, guys that can cover man-to-man. So I think that they'll stay in that and try and pressure him. You cannot give him time to throw.
Absolutely not. And last week, West found that out.
Looks like they are in cover 1. One deep safety, and it looks like Stockdale jumped off sides.
Penalty flag down, and it is false start against Stockdale. 5-yard penalty will make it 3rd and 20 now.
So that cover 1 allows you your one safety to play deep, and you're still playing man-to-man underneath, but it does take out a potential pass rusher for you. Can allow more time, and if a team throws the ball to the sidelines, that safety doesn't do a whole lot of good. But if they're going to attack the seams, Stockdale's in a bunch formation here at the bottom.
Smith back to pass, throws a little too high for number 10, Brandon Dunn.
Yeah, a lot of times teams will put trips to one side, but their best receiver opposite that and try to get him in a one-on-one matchup. That time the cover 1 did work because the safety was able to influence that post route there.
And a strong defensive response there by Independence, not allowing Stockdale to get any yardage. So Stockdale will punt it away, and Ramon Henderson, let's see if he's able to get his hands on it. Short punt. Shanked a bit, and it will be downed at the 48-yard line of the Mustangs. So you have one timeout with 1:14 to go, and Independence looking to cash in before halftime and get this game tied up.
Well, I think every play caller has a chart that has certain plays to get it to their playmaker. And we all know that Ramon Henderson is the guy for him. Just a sophomore, but he's their big playmaker. So I'm thinking I'm going to take at least 2 shots to try and get him isolated one-on-one with somebody and make things work.
So Borelli in the shotgun formation. Wyrick is the lone setback. Henderson at the top of your screen. The give is to number 40, Chris Wyrick. who has a touchdown run in the game, brought down at the 43-yard line, a gain of 5, 2nd down and 5.
Independence in their no-huddle 2-minute offense here.
Under a minute. Aubrey Jones in the slot. At the top of the screen on the right. Henderson on the bottom. Catch is made. Going up high to grab that.
Oh, it looks like they're saying he got enough for the first down, stopping the clock there as they move the chains. One of the advantages that high school and college football have over the pros. Now they'll wait for this chain crew to move it, which allows Independence to get another play call in and get ready to go.
Nice catch by Deontay Brown. He picks up first down yardage. Down at the 38-yard line of the Mustangs. Each team with 1 timeout, and the clock is rolling. Swing it out to number 4, Malik Duluth, and he is immediately brought down by number 10, Brandon Dunn.
Coach Lucero right there next to the official to call the timeout immediately after he was tackled there, knowing on that play that if it wasn't real successful, that he'd burn that timeout. But this is where they wish they had those other 2 that they burned in the first quarter right now. It would allow them to use more of the field with, 32 seconds, not really much of a kicking game to speak of as far as I think range-wise. They've got to be thinking touchdown.
So 32 seconds remaining in the first half. 2nd down and 11. Ball spotted on the 39 of the Mustangs. Mustangs a 21-14 lead. It's been an exciting one. Southwest rivalry, 13th year in a running. Stockdale at Independence. Kids who know each other from elementary, junior high school. And a lot of respect in talking to both Coach Lucero and Brett Shelton, a tremendous amount of respect on both sides here. And we'll see what transpires here. Borelli in the gun. Fires. Caught by number 11, Henderson. Driven out of bounds at the 32. Gain of 7.
That's a good positive play. Thrown right by the sideline there, so you're going to get out of bounds on that. You got 2 plays here to pick up the first, but you either throw incomplete here. You do not want to get tackled short of the first down here. An incompletion is better than that as far as the clock goes.
27 seconds remaining in the half. 21-14 Stockdale. Independence on the march.
You do have a one-on-one up at the top of the screen.
Borelli with the fake now throws and nearly intercepted by Evan Burkhardt, but it would have been out of bounds anyway. Excuse me, that would have been Hudson Sabol. Would have been out of bounds anyway. So 4th down now and 4 to go with 21 and a half seconds. What play do you call here if you're head coach Lucas Lucero?
Well, I still think I'd probably go something short here, get the first down, and then I'd spike the ball after the first down. That gives me 3 shots at the end zone. If I just go end zone right now, then that's 1 shot. But typically they're going to play off and give you something short. You might even run the ball here if you thought you could pick up the first down on it.
Borelli rolling out, swings it out, and down, and all kinds of daylight for Chris Wyrick, but he slips down and turns it over on downs. So unfortunate for Independence. Who knows how far he would have gotten there. He would have definitely gotten the first down.
Yeah, great play call. He had plenty of space. The quarterback held the ball, drew the rush to him, but then forced him to dive after it in a situation where you wanted him to run after the catch. So 15.9 seconds left, 1 timeout for Stockdale. We might see how far they can throw the ball.
See if they can at least get in field goal range. Oh, fumble on the play. And recovered by Smith. So recovers.
And I think after that one, you just let the clock run out and go in the locker room with the lead.
Absolutely. Well, we've reached halftime. It's been a good one. Stockdale, the visitors, 21, Independence, 14. We'll take a break on Kern High Network.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
There are over 100 places to get pizza in Kern County, but only 4 are good enough to be called Tony's. So what's the Tony's Pizza difference? We're not giving away our secrets, but the proof is in the pizza. Tony's Spicy Mexicana, the mouth-watering Hawaiian, the award-winning Chili Verde, and so many more. Trust us, you'll find your favorite. If you want great pizza, you can play the numbers game, or you can get it right the first time. Tony's Pizza, 3 locations in Bakersfield and 1 in Shafter.
It's wicked cool. It's our new aviation class. It gives kids a chance to break into the industry. There's a lot of careers in aviation. This class is a lot more than just flying planes.
We've learned so much already. We've learned how to take off. We've learned instrument flight rules. It's something everyone can do, I think.
Good. And you see, remember that horizon? Try to keep it parallel to your cockpit. After the 2-year program, they're going to be able to take the knowledge test for their private pilot exam. I am a pilot. I've been in Bakersfield for 10 years. I worked as an instructor for 6 years and then became a corporate pilot. And I'm a teacher here. We have amazing equipment. Even flight schools don't have that much equipment.
You put a class like this somewhere at North High, and it's really preparing kids to succeed because it gives them a whole new set of opportunities they never knew that they had the chance to pursue. I'm proud to say that I'm from North High School and that we have administration that's willing to put the money into offering really, really neat programs like this and preparing kids to succeed.
And now, the Independence High School Falcon Marching Band and Color Guard.
It's cute. We read and write poetry because we are members of the human race. And the human race is filled with passion, beauty, romance, love. Words will always retain their power. You will learn to savor words and language. What will your verse be?
What will your verse be?
I will make other people happy even when I am not.
9 to 2. Yeah,
VHS. So did VHS get a touchdown to safety or a touchdown and missed the extra point and got a field goal?
It was touchdown.
Okay.
I'd have to look back in the Twitter feeds.
Words will always retain their power.
We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon and discontain and do the other thing. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
Stop saying I wish and begin to say
my daughter goes to church with him. Oh, yeah, she goes to that church. She's a huge fan of, we all are. We like that show, picture of her. Well, she's leaving there. We rented their place, the Silos, we were there this last time. My brother's got two kids living there at the time. And ended up taking a picture with his
Yeah. Let's see. We're asking us 2015.
They'll put 3 minutes back on the clock. Is that when we want to pick up? Or?
Yeah, might as well. That way it gives you guys enough time.
You can run through the superintendents and the administrators.
So do we have stats?
Yeah.
Have you had any of those?
I can make some. Act like you know what you're talking about.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
There are over 100 places to get pizza in Kern County, but only 4 are good enough to be called Tony's. So what's the Tony's pizza difference? We're not giving away our secrets, but the proof is in the pizza. Tony's Spicy Mexicana, the mouth-watering Hawaiian, the award-winning Chili Verde, and so many more. Trust us, you'll find your favorite. If you want great pizza, you can play the numbers game, or you can get it right the first time. Tony's Pizza, 3 locations in Bakersfield and 1 in Shafter.
And welcome back to Independence High School, Falcon Stadium. Rick Hudgens, Rich Cornford. Rich, good game so far. 21-14 at the half, but Stockdale didn't take the lead till late in that half. And then Independence had a shot and had a chance at least for a first down and maybe a chance to throw to the end zone, but that didn't transpire. And Stockdale ended up having to just take it into the house at halftime with the 7-point lead. Your thoughts about that first half, and then what can we expect here in the second half? More of the same?
Well, I think it was a tale of 2 quarters. That first quarter, Independence offensively was able to stay in front of the chains, do what they need to do, stay balanced with their run game, their short passing game, went downfield a little bit with it, and really kept Stockdale off balance. Stockdale shot themselves in the foot a couple times with penalties. And then we get the second quarter, and it's like they decided to switch sides. Independence shot themselves with penalties, including an 80-yard touchdown pass getting called back. And Stockdale was able to take advantage of great field position. You know, another key play was snapping the ball on that 4th and 4 at your own 25, given, you know, when the quarterback wasn't expecting it, giving Stockdale great field position. They punched in a score there, got the ball back, punched in another quick score, and pretty soon the score flipped.
Well, both touchdowns for Independence on the ground. Chris Wyrick, a guy that, frankly, we weren't sure was going to play tonight. He had a big touchdown run in the opening drive, and then they switched in their quarterback, their runner, Zach Castellan. He scored the other one. And then on the other side, of course, Smith with a touchdown pass as well as touchdown run, and did a little bit of everything as well.
Yeah, and, you know, I thought coming in that Stockdale wanted to be balanced, but they know where their strength is. And when they were given opportunities, they were throwing a lot of balls to the left flat over there, finding a matchup that they liked. And then on the one touchdown run, Jaylon Smith just found an opening and exploited it, made some people miss with a little bit of magic. So, you know, I think there's going to be a great second half over here. So I think Stockdale gets the ball first in this half, and we'll see if they can extend that lead. I know, you know, it's the first drive of that second half for both clubs is going to be critical.
Absolutely. Well, let's thank our sponsors once again: Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, U.S. Army, PAV Solar and Communication, Premier Lighting, Tony's Pizza, and Raymond's Trophies. Also, our wonderful KHSD superintendents: Dr. Brian Schaefer, Assistant Superintendent of Instruction, Dr. Brenda Lewis, Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services and Innovative Programs, Dr. Dean McGee, and Director of School Support Services, Stan Green, the man who is the figurehead of the Kern High Network. Also, we'd like to thank Independence High School's principal, Dr. Debbie Thompson, Assistant Principal of Instruction, Cy Silver, Assistant Principal of Administration, Kelly Harden, Athletic Director, Derek LaRosa, and Activity Director, Grant Bingham. And we'd like to thank Stockdale's administration, Principal Scott Odlin, Assistant Principal of Instruction, Tashawn Winston, Assistant Principal of Administration, Teddy Armijo, Athletic Director, Justin Roberts, and Activity Director, Leah McLean. And Rich, when we look at some of these scores here around the Valley, we have BHS 9, Ridgeview 2, a tight one there in the revamped Griffith Stadium tonight. BCHS all over Kennedy, 42-0. Chavez 21, Taft 9. Arvin and Shafter in a tough one out in Shafter, and Arvin has a 7-point lead, 21-14. Frontier 21, Golden Valley nothing. Frontier opens for Liberty's homecoming next week, Southwest Yosemite League action. That'll be an interesting game. East leads Foothill at Foothill 16-3. Last score we had was Oaks Christian 21, Liberty nothing down in Thousand Oaks. Roseman, good team this year, the Roadrunners, leads Miramonte 21-zip. West laying it on South 28-0. Highland continues to win, winning on the road tonight against Fresno Hoover 41-9, and North over Tehachapi 7-0. Your thoughts on any of those games?
Well, boy, the big one that sticks out to me is West 28, South 0. We know that South has been a really good program, but I think Coach Dunham and West High, West High gave Stockdale a heck of a game last week. The second half, a couple turnovers got to him, but Coach Dunham and that coaching staff at West High turning that program around. It looks like they're going to enter league play at 3-2 and really have a shot at things. And boy, keep track of that BHS Ridgeview game. Just a touchdown between them. Should be an exciting finish over there.
And we know Coach Dunham coached with you, and he certainly bleeds green and gold, and it's got them back to where West maybe they can get back to where they were in the 1970s and 1980s.
And the 2000s. Yeah, well, don't forget those glory years. We had some fun times over there at West High. And you're right, nobody bleeds more green and gold than Derek Dunham. He has been a loyal guy at West High since he went to school there, since he was an assistant coach there. Even before he was a teacher, he was an assistant coach helping out the program, basically working for free over there. So he loves West High football, and I think that passion is transferred over to the kids. And I know the coaching staff loves coaching with him too. So that kind of mentality is contagious.
Rich, who are some of the players? We're going to take a break. We'll come back with the second half on the Kern High Network.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
There are over 100 places to get pizza in Kern County, but only 4 are good enough to be called Tony's. So what's the Tony's Pizza difference? We're not giving away our secrets, but the proof is in the pizza. Tony's Spicy Mexicana, the mouth-watering Hawaiian, the award-winning Chili Verde, and so many more. Trust us, you'll find your favorite. If you want great pizza, you can play the numbers game, or you can get it right the first time. Tony's Pizza, 3 locations in Bakersfield and 1 in Shafter.
And we get ready to start the second half. Rick Hudgens, Rich Cornford from Falcon Stadium at Independence High School. Stockdale will receive the ball, and taking it as the up back off the kickoff. Let's see who that is.
Looked like it might have been number 1, Mason Wright.
15-yard return by Zach Green.
Oh.
Number 4, Zach Green on the return.
I like what he did on that return. He didn't mess around. He caught the line drive ball and just attacked straight up field. Got the ball past the 40-yard line. So great field position to start with for Stockdale High.
First down at 10, Mustangs, own 41-yard line, 21-14 Mustangs. Both teams 2-2. Meeting for the 13th time. And Jaylon Smith, nice first half. Hands off. And dropped is number 4, Zach Green on the reverse.
Boy, Stockdale again continues to struggle to run the football. They've tried that counterplay a couple times now, and Independence is doing a great job reading and running downhill, and a couple times now they've tackled it for a loss.
So it'll be second down, a loss of 2 on the play, and we have not seen number 21, Kylan Davidson, run too much, and now he is back in the backfield. Second down and 12. Smith, low snap, keeps it, and sacked from behind. And let's see who got him. Is it one of those big seniors? Number 50, Nathan Enriquez, 6', 217, a junior.
Loss of 2 yards, third down.
Third down and long for Stockdale.
All right, well, Independence has shown that they can rush the quarterback. They're doing a really good job of making Jaylon uncomfortable. But he's the type of kid that even when he's uncomfortable, he can make a play. So always dangerous. Even a 3rd and 14, he pulls the trigger so quick.
I guess the key is as long as he doesn't see him coming. Timeout Stockdale. So we saw Independence burn a couple of timeouts early in the first half, and now Stockdale burns one early in the second half.
Yeah, and again, we saw it come back to haunt Independence, having to use those timeouts early. But again, you don't want to waste a play, and when you have faith in your quarterback that he can pick up a 3rd and 14, then you take that timeout and make sure that you've got everything in a row.
So third down and long, 3rd and 14. And Stockdale huddled up over there. Lucas Lucero and his defense coordinator talking to the defense. Important stand here for Independence if they can force a 3 and out.
It would be a big statement for them. Their defense has struggled a little bit in that second quarter, getting Stockdale off the field. Of course, Stockdale had some really good field position there to help him out along the way too. We see a trips formation with a tight end set.
Smith rolls right. Pressure being applied by number 50, Enriquez again, and they're going to drive him out of bounds for a major loss. Back to the 32-yard line.
Well, that was interesting. I know they hit the big tight end earlier in the game, Tanner Williford. That time they tried to roll Smith to him and essentially made it a one-receiver route, and he was covered. Smith had nowhere to go with the ball, and the pressure was coming. He dipped out of bounds there at the end. So Stockdale has to punt their first possession and win for Independence.
So Nick Souza back to punt, and Ramon Henderson will return it for the Falcons. And Henderson won't get a chance. The ball will roll out of bounds near the 35. We'll see where they spot it. First down and 10, Independence. Solid defensive possession there, and they will take over and try to get even here, down 21-14 early in the third quarter.
One thing I'd like to see Ramon Hernandez do is scoot up about 10 yards on these punt returns. He's consistently letting the ball hit 10 yards in front of him. And, if one thing, Stockdale could get a good roll out of it. But another thing, he's not getting a chance to return the ball himself and get some positive yardage.
And, Rich, we'd be remiss not to acknowledge Independence Falcons' wonderful band and color guard. They did a fantastic job at halftime. Keeping the ball is Borelli, and he's back to the 35, so no gain. Back to the line of scrimmage, second down and 10.
So a different look there from Stockdale that we didn't see, from Independence, in the first half. A double wing, what we would call a flex set, where they had receivers to each side and then wing backs on each side. They tried some misdirection, but Stockdale was all over it.
Second down and 10. Borelli still in at quarterback. The lone setback is Chris Wyrick. 2 receivers to the right, 1 up top. And Wyrick, the first man, or the only man through, getting out to the 42-yard line.
Armani Denweed, 7-yard gain.
Correction, Armani Denweed, number 30. That's the first time that we've seen him. Didn't play in the first half.
Good run up the gut there. 2nd and 10, attacking right up the middle, getting you 6 yards. You'll take that every day of the week.
Armani Dinweed, who was not even a running back, but with injuries, he was forced to move into that position and was rotating with Malik Duluth.
And he's only 135 pounds, right?
Exactly. But they come tough. And that's Dinweed again, and he'll pick up the first down.
Might be the toughest 135-pounder in town. Another very aggressive, hard inside run. I mean, you think a 135-pounder, that's maybe a scat back type guy, a guy that only goes outside. They're running him right up the gut here, and he's causing Stockdale fits.
With the injuries and having to go to their 5th and 6th running backs, and talking to athletic director of Independence, Derek LaRosa, he said that he is so proud of the way that these Falcon players have stood up and kids have stepped in. And even though you got a couple of running backs who are small of stature, they play with so much heart and toughness. And now the pass is caught, fumble on the play. Catch was made by Brown. We'll see if they're going to rule it a catch and a fumble, or if it's incomplete. It's ruled incomplete.
That was really tough to see from our angle because his back was directly to us. I know Coach Lucero was making the call for the officials, trying to help him out over there. And ultimately, I think they made the right call because I didn't see Stockdale overly upset about it.
Incomplete pass, 2nd down.
And nice defensive play there to break that up.
That was a play that Independence had some success on in the first quarter to help them, get some small chunks of yardage. Well defended there by Stockdale.
2nd and 10, Borelli in the gun. Handoff, Dinweed. Dinweed cuts back, cuts again, and is brought down at the 41-yard line.
13-yard gain, Armani Dinweed.
Boy, Dinweed, where was he in the first half?
Yeah, not sure where he was, but Stockdale better find out where he is right now because they're feeding him the ball and he's getting it yardage in chunks. Again, attacking right at the heart of the Stockdale defense, and I think they've made some adjustments. I see Nick Maiden continue to time his blitzes over here, but they seem to be going opposite him each way, and maybe they figured out what Stockdale's plan was with him.
So Dinweed departs and Chris Wyrick, number 40, back in, the lone setback. Borelli the snap, 3-step drop, fires out to the right. Brown's got it. And Deontay Brown brought down at about the 35-yard line by number 44, Tanner Williford.
Well, that was a great throw by Borelli. Planted his foot, got his weight behind it, threw a strike out there. Very good timing. So if Independence can stay in front of the chains and continue to mix up their short passing game with their running game, they're very hard to stop. Where they get in trouble is when they start getting penalties.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, excellent point. 2nd down and 3. The give is to Wyrick, and he will push forward for a first down. Nice run over the right side following a block of number 58. Jonathan Martinez, the junior offensive lineman. And first down at the 28, Hudson Sabol made the tackle. First down and 10.
Boy, it's a lot of fun to watch Nick Maiden play defense. He is in on almost every tackle over there. That one, after a long gain, you prefer your linebackers not to do that, but he's just very active, plays with a lot of energy.
Yeah, he's definitely all over the place. Keeping it this time is Borelli, and he will tuck it away.
Borelli keeps no gain on
that.
Gets back to the line of scrimmage. Sorry, Rich.
Stockdale sent both linebackers that time. Hey, if you're going to run away from one, we're going to send them both, and it worked. Football is just a chess game. You've got to anticipate the other guy's moves a play or two ahead of time, and sometimes you got to take some chances.
So 2nd down and 10 from the 28 of the Mustangs. Independence on the drive after stopping Stockdale on the opening drive of the second half. Independence looking to get even. Borelli fakes, rolls to the left. He's going to keep it, and he's going to race out of bounds near the 20-yard line. So Nice run there. I think they're going to spot it about the 21, so a gain of 7 there.
I think some of that may have just been ad-libbed. Just judging by Coach Lucero, I think somebody might have gone the wrong way here or there, and Borelli, though, with enough speed to break the containment and make it into a positive play.
So it'll be 3rd down and much more manageable, 3rd and 4.
And I definitely think for them in their kicking game that this is 4-down territory. So I'm calling a play as if it's 2nd and 4, in a typical situation rather than 3rd and 4.
And the give is a fumble. I can't tell if that was Dinweed or Wyrick. I think it might have been Dinweed. Fumble on the play, recovered by Independence, and a loss of a yard. So it'll be 4th down now and 5.
1 yard, 4th down.
Yeah, and when you call that play, on 3rd and 4, you're thinking, hey, well, at the very least, we'll pick up 1 or 2. You didn't think you're going to lose a yard because you dropped the handoff. So 4th and 5, not an ideal situation for Independence. They still could run, but I think this is likely a pass here.
Henderson on the left, Brown on the right. He's going to throw the slot wide open and down to the 1 yard line, fires a strike. What a pass from Borelli to Duluth. And he got popped, Rich, by number 6, Evan Burkhardt.
Burkhardt can bring the heat back there, but an excellent call by Coach Lucero and his staff over there. Definitely a game plan thing to send that guy up that seam. The other receiver did a hitch to hold the corner over there, and got another really good quarterback throw right on the line with perfect timing. Now we see their short yardage offense, the wishbone.
Yeah, Castellon back in, handoff straight ahead, and he didn't make it. He got to the goal line, but not in. Coach Lucero throwing up his hands.
Handoff to Rene Romero.
But to no avail. Rene Moreno, the fullback in there. He's a big short yardage back, so it'll be 2nd down and goal to go from the 1 yard line.
And if you're on offense, this is the longest yard, and if you're on defense, it just seems like it's a matter of inches. You just don't want to get too fancy down here, but you don't want to be too predictable.
Big defensive stand for Stockdale. Can they hold him off? Trying to get to the edge, and great tackle made by number 11, Hudson Sabol. It looked like Dinweed was going to hit Pater there.
Well, I think we see Coach Shelton stamp all over this defense. They are great tacklers. That's a couple times we've seen guys in space make a tackle on a shifty guy over there. And again, perfect form tackle. Great job wrapping up. There's nowhere we could go. No fakes that he could do. And, what looked like it could have been a touchdown, they lost a yard on that. 3rd and goal from the 2.
So 3rd down and goal to go. And penalty marker down on the goal line. And it's going to be offsides against Stockdale, so it'll advance the ball half the distance to the goal.
Outside, Stockdale.
Every inch matters here, but, for me, it's dangerous to call a play on 2 in this situation because we've seen Independence jump off sides and shoot themselves before. In that situation, it worked, got them an extra yard, and, boy, every inch is valuable real estate right now.
Now we've seen Castellon quarterback sneak before. The give is to Wyrick, and he is not going to make it.
This is a heck of a goal line stand for Stockdale. They got a great push over there off the edge. Now I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to their regular offense here. It looks like it's 4th and goal from the 2.
4th down and goal to go from the 2.
Linemen win championships, and games are won and lost here in these situations when everybody knows you're going to run the ball.
Borelli up under center. Pitch outside, trying to get the edge. Touchdown, Independence.
Touchdown, Falcons.
On the pitch, let's see who it was. Is it number 4? It certainly is. It's Malik Duluth, who had that nice catch to set up the touchdown, put him in great field position, and then he cashes in with the 2 yard run.
I believe he scored their first touchdown of the game too on a nice run. Good toss call and great job by him as soon as he saw those 2 yards, he took it. He attacked it.
Extra point is up and good, and we are knotted at 21. We said we expected a great one, and this Southwest rivalry has not let us down tonight, Rich.
Oh, boy, howdy. This is a heck of a good ball game. I mean, both teams are so evenly matched. We're getting great play by both sides. Individual playmakers, good tackling. I mean, teams are working for every yard. It's not like people are blowing coverages and just leaving guys open. They're working for it. Coaches are game planning for it. I mean, heck, it was 1st and goal from the 1. Stockdale, made them use all 4 downs to do it. And for Independence credit, they found the right play eventually to punch it in.
So Independence with the touchdown run, 2 yards out by number 4, Malik Duluth, to tie it at 21 after the extra point. With 2:42 to go in the 3rd quarter. And boy, each team with 1 possession nearly used up the whole quarter there.
Yeah, and this quarter being played a lot more clean than the other quarters where we've had multiple penalties. I think both teams have kind of settled in and are playing their best football right now.
We have a scoring update, 16-9 now. VHS leads Ridgeview at Griffith Stadium.
Flag on the play.
Well, we've seen a little bit of everything on the kickoffs, from an onside kick to, some hard squibbers over there for Stockdale. They've moved their return guys all the way up to the 20-yard line. I think we had an Independence guy offsides on that one, so that'll back it up. So I think Stockdale's going to get really good field position again.
So number 45 set to kick it off. And he'll have to re-kick after the 5-yard penalty for offsides. And back deep is number 6, Evan Burkhardt. And 21, Kylan Davidson. It'll be a short kick.
Oh, tricky bounce.
Tricky bounce, as you said, and nearly recovered by the Falcons, but a nice recovery by the Mustangs. Very alert to get down on the ball. And it looks like a Stockdale player, number 4, is Zachary Green, is shaken up a little bit. Finally got to his feet and is trying to walk off with a little assistance from his teammate. We'll have to watch that. Zach Green, important player, especially on the defensive end.
Yeah, boy, and just hate the injuries.
But there is an Independence player down, and can't make out who that is, but it looks like they're calling for the ambulance, and this is not good.
No, it's not.
Do not like to see this. A very competitive, hard-fought game. 2 teams playing from the depths of their heart, and to see something like this is not good. They are calling for the ambulance.
I didn't see what happened. I don't want to really speculate, but it really stinks when kids get hurt playing a game that they love so much.
I agree. Neither did I. But this is ambulance now making their way over to the injured player.
And again, pay your respects to Hall Ambulance and what they do for Kern County football, because they've got an ambulance at every game in the event that something, like this happens.
Yeah, definitely. And well, while the player's down, we'd like to once again thank our Kern High School District sponsors, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, the U.S. Army, PAV Solar and Communication, Premier Lighting, Tony's Pizza, and Raymond's Trophy. We'd also like to recognize and show our appreciation to the Kern High School District superintendents, Superintendent Dr. Brian Schaefer Assistant Superintendent of Instruction, Dr. Brenda Lewis, Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services and Innovative Programs, Dr. Dean McGee, and the Director of School Support Services, Stan Green, who really is the fountainhead of the Kern High Network, along with his main man, Kyle Wiley. So EMTs are taking out the stretcher now. This is just...
Yeah, you hate to see it. Especially as scary as with the ambulance out there. And he is moving down there, which is always a good sign.
Absolutely.
Since we got some time here, we got some college football scores. USC 17, Washington State 17.
Wow, and that's up at Wazoo. I wonder what kind of weather is there tonight in Pullman.
Miami all over Duke, 31-6.
Wow. I expect big things out of Miami with the coaching change, Mark Richt, and going over from Georgia, and see what happens there. Well, we're going to take a break here as they continue to assist the injured Independence player. And fans, as soon as we know who it is, we'll let you know. Our thoughts and prayers are certainly with them right now. We'll take a break on Kern High Network.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
There are over 100 places to get pizza in Kern County, but only 4 are good enough to be called Tony's. So what's the Tony's Pizza difference? We're not giving away our secrets, but the proof is in the pizza. Tony's Spicy Mexicana, the mouth-watering Hawaiian, the award-winning Chili Verde, and so many more. Trust us, you'll find your favorite. If you want great pizza, you can play the numbers game, or you can get it right the first time. Tony's Pizza, 3 locations in Bakersfield and 1 in Shafter.
It's wicked cool. It's our new aviation class. It gives kids a chance to break into the industry. There's a lot of careers in aviation. This class is a lot more than just flying planes.
We've learned so much already. We've learned how to take off. We've learned instrument flight rules. It's something everyone can do, I think.
Good. And you see, remember that horizon? Try to keep it parallel to your cockpit. After the 2-year program, they're going to be able to take the knowledge test for their private pilot exam. I am a pilot. I've been in Bakersfield for 10 years. I worked as an instructor for 6 years and then became a corporate pilot. And I'm a teacher here. We have amazing equipment. Even flight schools don't have that much equipment.
You put a class like this somewhere at North High, and it's really preparing kids to succeed because it gives them a whole new set of opportunities they never knew that they had the chance to pursue. I'm proud to say that I'm from North High School and that we have administration that's willing to put the money into offering really, really neat programs like this and preparing kids to succeed.
In animal care, the students learn a variety of things, whether it's tools or terms. In the veterinary field, they learn about the skeletal systems, the animal nutrition, the housing, how to properly care for them. They also have the opportunity in the spring to actually go work at a veterinary hospital or at an animal shelter or a grooming salon.
Animal restraint, weight and temperature, pulse, respiration, all of that I learned here.
They take a state certified test, and if they pass, they become a certified vet assistant right out of high school.
It's It's always hands-on, and so I think that's what really helps us is that we're not just getting it from a textbook, we're actually doing these things, and we're actually practicing these things that we'll be doing in our future careers.
Well, we're learning a lot, and especially with just the basic knowledge of what you would need for an entry-level job.
All the basic skills to be a medical assistant in a doctor's office or a clinic.
You're leaning on it, and that'll make a difference.
And then they also do on-the-job training, and they work in doctor's offices or clinics throughout Kern County. The kids are job ready, and many of them are employed before the end of the school year. They're promised a job, as well as they continue their education. We have many registered nurses out there and even physicians.
I'm thinking I want to be an anesthesiologist. So a lot of school, but it'll be worth it in the end.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM. So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special. One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
There are over 100 places to get pizza in Kern County, but only 4 are good enough to be called Tony's. So what's the Tony's pizza difference? We're not giving away our secrets, but the proof is in the pizza. Tony's Spicy Mexicana, the mouth-watering Hawaiian, the award-winning Chili Verde, and so many more. Trust us, you'll find your favorite. If you want great pizza, you can play the numbers game, or you can get it right the first time. Tony's Pizza, 3 locations in Bakersfield and 1 in Shafter.
It's wicked cool. It's our new aviation class. It gives kids a chance to break into the industry. There's a lot of careers in aviation. This class is a lot more than just flying planes.
We've learned so much already. We've learned how to take off. We've learned instrument flight rules. It's something everyone can do, I think.
Good. And you see, remember that horizon? Try to keep it parallel to your cockpit. After the 2-year program, they're going to be able to take the knowledge test for their private pilot exam. I am a pilot. I've been in Bakersfield for 10 years. I worked as an instructor for 6 years and then became a corporate pilot. And I'm a teacher here. We have amazing equipment. Even flight schools don't have that much equipment.
You put a class like this somewhere at North High, and it's really preparing kids to succeed because it gives them a whole new set of opportunities they never knew that they had the chance to pursue. I'm proud to say that I'm from North High School and that we have administration that's willing to put the money into offering really, really neat programs like this and preparing kids to succeed.
In animal care, the students learn a variety of things, whether it's tools or terms. In the veterinary field, they learn about the skeletal systems, the animal nutrition, the housing, how to properly care for them. They also have the opportunity in the spring to actually go work at a veterinary hospital or at an animal shelter or a grooming salon.
Animal restraint, weight and temperature, pulse, respiration, all of that I learned here.
They take a state certified test, and if they pass, they become a certified vet assistant right out of high school.
It's always hands-on, and so I think that's what really helps us is that we're not just getting it from a textbook, we're actually doing these things, and we're actually practicing these things that we'll be doing in our future careers.
Well, we're learning a lot, and especially with just the basic knowledge of what you would need for an entry-level job.
All the basic skills to be a medical assistant in a doctor's office or a clinic.
You're leaning on it, and that'll make a difference.
And then they also do on-the-job training, and they work in doctor's offices or clinics throughout Kern County. The kids are job ready, and many of them are employed before the end of the school year. They're promised a job, as well as they continue their education. We have many registered nurses out there and even physicians.
I'm thinking I want to be an anesthesiologist. So a lot of school, but it'll be worth it in the end.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile. And I still do everything online or through the ATM. So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special. One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
There are over 100 places to get pizza in Kern County, but only 4 are good enough to be called Tony's. So what's the Tony's Pizza difference? We're not giving away our secrets, but the proof is in the pizza. Tony's Spicy Mexicana, the mouth-watering Hawaiian, the award-winning Chili Verde, and so many more. Trust us, you'll find your favorite. If you want great pizza, you can play the numbers game, or you can get it right the first time. Tony's Pizza, 3 locations in Bakersfield and 1 in Shafter.
It's wicked cool. It's our new aviation class. It gives kids a chance to break into the industry. There's a lot of careers in aviation. This class is a lot more than just flying planes.
We've learned so much already. We've learned how to take off. We've learned instrument flight rules. It's something everyone can do, I think.
Good. And you see, remember that horizon? Try to keep it parallel to your cockpit. After the 2-year program, they're going to be able to take the knowledge test for their private pilot exam. I am a pilot. I've been in Bakersfield for 10 years. I worked as an instructor for 6 years and then became a corporate pilot. And I'm a teacher here. We have amazing equipment. Even flight schools don't have that much equipment.
You put a class like this somewhere at North High, and it's really preparing kids to succeed because it gives them a whole new set of opportunities they never knew that they had the chance to pursue. I'm proud to say that I'm from North High School and that we have administration that's willing to put the money into offering really, really neat programs like this and preparing kids to succeed.
In animal care, the students learn a variety of things, whether it's tools or terms. In the veterinary field, they learn about the skeletal systems, animal nutrition, the housing, how to properly care for them. They also have the opportunity in the spring to actually go work at a veterinary hospital or at an animal shelter or a grooming salon.
Animal restraint, weight and temperature, pulse, respiration, all of that I learned here.
They take a state certified test, and if they pass, they become a certified vet assistant right out of high school.
It's always hands-on, and so I think that's what really helps us is that we're not just getting it from a textbook, we're actually doing these things, and we're actually practicing these things that we'll be doing in our future careers.
Well, we're learning a lot, and especially with just the basic knowledge of what you would need for an entry-level job.
All the basic skills to be a medical assistant in a doctor's office or a clinic.
You're leaning on it, and that'll make a difference.
And then they also do on-the-job training, and they work in doctor's offices or clinics throughout Kern County. The kids are job ready, and many of them are employed before the end of the school year. They're promised a job, as well as they continue their education. We have many registered nurses out there and even physicians.
I'm thinking I want to be an anesthesiologist. So a lot of school, but it'll be worth it in the end.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile. And I still do everything online or through the ATM. So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special. One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
There are over 100 places to get pizza in Kern County, but only 4 are good enough to be called Tony's. So what's the Tony's pizza difference? We're not giving away our secrets, but the proof is in the pizza. Tony's Spicy Mexicana, the mouth-watering Hawaiian, the award-winning Chili Verde, and so many more. Trust us, you'll find your favorite. If you want great pizza, you can play the numbers game, or you can get it right the first time. Tony's Pizza, 3 locations in Bakersfield and 1 in Shafter.
It's wicked cool. It's our new aviation class. It gives kids a chance to break into the industry. There's a lot of careers in aviation. This class is a lot more than just flying planes.
We've learned so much already. We've learned how to take off. We've learned instrument flight rules. It's something everyone can do, I think.
Good. And you see, remember that horizon? Try to keep it parallel to your cockpit. After the 2-year program, they're going to be able to take the knowledge test for their private pilot exam. I am a pilot. I've been in Bakersfield for 10 years. I worked as an instructor for 6 years and then became a corporate pilot. And I'm a teacher here. We have amazing equipment. Even flight schools don't have that much equipment.
You put a class like this somewhere at North High, and it's really preparing kids to succeed because it gives them a whole new set of opportunities they never knew that they had a chance to pursue. I'm proud to say that I'm from North High School and that we have administration that's willing to put the money into offering really, really neat programs like this and preparing kids to succeed.
In animal care, the students learn a variety of things, whether it's tools or terms. In the veterinary field, they learn about the skeletal systems, animal nutrition, the housing, how to properly care for them. They also have the opportunity in the spring to actually go work at a veterinary hospital or at an animal shelter or a grooming salon.
Animal restraint, weight and temperature, pulse, respiration, all of that I learned here.
They take a state certified test, and if they pass, they become a certified vet assistant right out of high school.
It's always hands-on, and so I think that's what really helps us is that we're not just getting it from a textbook, we're actually doing these things, and we're actually practicing these things that we'll be doing in our future careers.
Well, we're learning a lot, and especially with just the basic knowledge of what you would need for an entry-level job.
All the basic skills to be a medical assistant in a doctor's office or a clinic.
You're leaning on it, and that'll make a difference.
And then they also do on-the-job training, and they work in doctor's offices or clinics throughout Kern County. The kids are job ready, and many of them are employed before the end of the school year. They're promised a job, as well as they continue their education. We have many registered nurses out there and even physicians.
I'm thinking I want to be an anesthesiologist. So a lot of school, but it'll be worth it in the end.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile. And I still do everything online or through the ATM. So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special. One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
There are over 100 places to get pizza in Kern County, but only 4 are good enough to be called Tony's. So what's the Tony's pizza difference? We're not giving away our secrets, but the proof is in the pizza. Tony's Spicy Mexicana, the mouth-watering Hawaiian, the award-winning Chili Verde, and so many more. Trust us, you'll find your favorite. If you want great pizza, you can play the numbers game, or you can get it right the first time. Tony's Pizza, 3 locations in Bakersfield and 1 in Shafter.
It's wicked cool. It's our new aviation class. It gives kids a chance to break into the industry. There's a lot of careers in aviation. This class is a lot more than just flying planes.
We've learned so much already. We've learned how to take off. We've learned instrument flight rules. It's something everyone can do, I think.
Good. And you see, remember that horizon? Try to keep it parallel to your cockpit. After the 2-year program, they're going to be able to take the knowledge test for their private pilot exam. I am a pilot. I've been in Bakersfield for 10 years. I worked as an instructor for 6 years and then became a corporate pilot. And I'm a teacher here. We have amazing equipment. Even flight schools don't have that much equipment.
You put a class like this somewhere at North High, and it's really preparing kids to succeed because it gives them a whole new set of opportunities they never knew that they had the chance to pursue. I'm proud to say that I'm from North High School and that we have administration that's willing to put the money into offering really, really neat programs like this and preparing kids to succeed.
In animal care, the students learn a variety of things, whether it's tools or terms. In the veterinary field, they learn about the skeletal systems, animal nutrition, the housing, how to properly care for them. They also have the opportunity in the spring to actually go work at a veterinary hospital or at an animal shelter or a grooming salon.
Animal restraint, weight and temperature, pulse, respiration, all of that I learned here.
They take a state certified test, and if they pass, they become a certified vet assistant right out of high school.
It's always hands-on, and so I think that's what really helps us is that we're not just getting it from a textbook, we're actually doing these things, and we're actually practicing these things that we'll be doing in our future careers.
Well, we're learning a lot, and especially
Now the officials will confer. Just hate to see such a tightly played game, so much heart, so much pride on the line between these two teams, and then the emotions, and who knows what happened there at the end of the play, but you just hate to see things like this at the end of the game, Rich.
Well, the referees are doing a good job of sorting things out and trying to figure out who the guilty parties are here. You know, it could be one of those situations that happens all the time where the guy that reacts to a cheap shot is the one that gets called. But that's, again, where discipline comes from, and you got to have that love for your team enough that you're willing not to hit back. And that's hard for high school kids to do. That's hard for NFL guys to do, hard for college guys to do. But you really want to instill in them enough discipline that they can avoid making bad decisions.
Well, like we've discussed, these two teams know each other well. Players know each other well. Coaches have a great deal of respect for each other.
Yeah, there was a fight on the field.
So with the fight on the field, referees still trying to figure out what's going on. Rich, while we have a little bit of time and they sort it out, we know league starts next week. Tehachapi will be here at Independence. South Yosemite League, your thoughts on that game, and then Stockdale hosting Centennial, and Centennial's played an extremely tough preseason schedule as well. Should be a good one.
Well, I think both leagues are wide open. I mean, you've got Liberty and BHS who've played incredibly tough schedules, but we know that they're Liberty and BHS. They're two of the best coach programs in town, some of the better athletes in town, that they're going to be in the mix. You got Frontier sitting at probably 5-0. I'm assuming that they beat Golden Valley. They were up pretty big early on. Chris Bandy's got that program revitalized. And you got Centennial, who's played some teams very tough, and Stockdale. So the league, and I'm not sure how Garces did. I think they might have a bye this week. But the league is very balanced over there, and I think any one of those 5 teams have got a shot at it. In the South Yosemite League, Ridgeview has been the team that's been dominating that league lately. They've played a pretty tough schedule. It looks like they were down to Bakersfield High tonight, but we know that they beat this Stockdale team already. They have a huge rivalry with Independence, and it could very well come down to that last game of the season this year. Tehachapi is always tough to play, especially when it gets into October or November if you have to go up to Tehachapi. And I know Ridgeview has to go up there the second to last week of the season. And West High is a team. They were sticking it to South tonight. So you can't overlook the Vikings. So I think in both of these leagues, you're going to have some serious competition. I know East High under Coach Fanucchi has gotten a lot better. They were really good last year. I think they finished 7-3. They're good this year. So the town is really as balanced as I think I've ever seen it, where you've got really 4 or 5 teams in each of the 2 biggest leagues that can compete for the league championships.
Yeah, and it's interesting because if you look up north in the track, you've got Central, who we've discussed, just looks so good this year, so talented. You've got Buchanan, who has a fine team, and then Clovis West is a team that Liberty beat earlier in the year, missed extra point late in the game, excessive celebration. But Clovis West is a team who will more than likely end up, as you mentioned, being a receiver in Sasha Ray. But that team is dangerous too.
Yeah, they are, because their other quarterback is, I think, committed to Tennessee. Adrian Martinez, I think his name is. So, I mean, they're really loaded. And, Liberty looked great beating them, did a great job beating them. But now they're kind of on a tear, finding their stride. And, I think up north, those are probably the 3 teams I think you hit on: Buchanan, Clovis West, and Central. And right now, Central just looks like a handful. They are so athletic. They're extremely well coached. And their offensive and defensive lines, which have sometimes been a weaker point for them, are loaded with big, fast, tough kids. So really a team with no weaknesses.
And, of course, in D2, you got Tulare Union, which we talked about, that's currently number 3 in the central section. Back to action. Borelli is going to be stood up and now dropped, and there's going to be another penalty on number 34, Andrew Marion. And
now I didn't hear a whistle, but I am standing pretty far away. It sure seemed like there should have been a whistle, so I'm sure he must have blown it. But that's a critical thing for Stockdale, because that's going to give Independence some life over here. And boy, just right after that fight, you know, you have a shot like that. Did they announce any ejections?
I did not hear any ejections. I did not see any. So, going to let the players decide.
So I guess it was a wrestling match and not really a fight.
First down, Falcons. The 20-yard line.
Well, you don't get an automatic first anymore for personal fouls, so it's still 3rd and long, but it did get them out of their own goal line.
Out to the 20. Oh, now they're going to advance it to the 35-yard line.
Holy cow.
Wow. And that's going to be a first down. So all the way out to the 35-yard line on the...
Coach Shelton is wondering how they did that math. There was only one penalty on that play, right?
Yes.
And the previous play wasn't at the 20-yard line. It was from about inside the 10.
Mm-hmm. So the defensive personal foul against Stockdale, and Independence has the ball out to the 35-yard line with 1:55 and 3 timeouts and trailing by 7. Borelli out in the flat. He's got number 40, Chris Wyrick, gets the edge and is driven out of bounds and still fighting. And now another penalty against Stockdale. And this is exactly what Coach Shelton impressed upon his players all week. He said, we need to cut out the penalties, stop hurting ourselves. We got to play discipline. Coach Shelton said he wanted a full game out of his team tonight, something that he hasn't seen all season long thus far.
And he was clearly out of bounds there when the guy hit him. You know, it was, you can raise your hands and plead to your coach, I didn't do it, but you did it. And again, you cannot hurt your team like that. Your team is in a situation just 2 snaps ago of putting this game away, and you are, you know, committing personal fouls on top of personal fouls. You know, and then from the Independent standpoint, they ought to be happy the flag was down. You shouldn't be chasing after some guy trying to, you know, do something else ridiculous. And Stockdale just had somebody thrown out now.
They certainly did. Let's see who it is.
I think it's Nick Maiden.
It is Nick Maiden.
So their defensive leader, I wasn't sure that was him that hit the guy late.
My goodness. It's all unraveling here at the end of the game, and it's such a great game.
Well, they're still trying to sort everything out here. We've got another officials huddle.
What do you do, Rich, what do you do as a coach when, you know, you try to discipline your players, you try to hammer it into them? We need to cut out the penalties. Nothing excessive. And it happens again. It's got to be infuriating, and it's just extremely disappointing as a coach to have to continue to deal with that.
Infuriating is the right word for it, because you work so hard as a team to put yourself in position to win the game. And then, you know, when you get somebody that's just hot-headed and can't control themselves, you know, but ultimately as a coach, you're putting those guys on the field, and it's a reflection of you and your program. And I know Coach Shelton runs a very good program, a very, you know, tough physical program. These kids got to learn where that line is between being over-aggressive and, you know, costing your team big yardage there. Now, they don't appear to have marked yards off after that one. You kick somebody out, you threw a flag. Here they marked off 30 yards earlier, in this one basically didn't get anything.
My goodness.
Seems a little inconsistent.
Yeah. First down and 10.
Unless they called them offsetting penalties, which I didn't see that.
From the 35, swing it out to Brown. He's got it. Deontay Brown down to the 26-yard line. He'll pick up 9.
Independence still has all 3 of their timeouts left. So, I would think that they can still run here and try to pick up the first down. You do have to be working at a pretty quick pace. They're still coming in and out of the huddle. You want to just get as many snaps in as you can, but you want to be smart with them.
Second down and a yard. The junior signal caller, Sergio Borelli, throws, and tough one to handle there. And the pass is incomplete, intended for number 9, David Hernandez. It'll be third down and a yard. Well, very quickly, we got some scores around the county. Finals at Bakersfield Griffith Stadium. Bakersfield wins 30-9 over Ridgeview. BCHS 56-0 over Kennedy. Frontier 24-0 over Golden Valley to move to 5-0. East 37, Foothill 3. Highland 51, Fresno Hoover 15. West 42-14, bouncing back after that tough loss at Stockdale. And now making the catch is number 9, David Hernandez, and he's going to pick up the first down. And Independence keeps marching, and out of nowhere, David Hernandez.
Yeah, and he not only picked up the first down, but he got out of bounds. So you got 3 timeouts, 57 seconds left. You're at the 13-yard line. Oh, and Independence calls a timeout right now. I was about to suggest that from that situation, you can, run your entire offense, run the ball on first down, and if you don't call a timeout after then, you could probably still do that with 57 seconds left and 2 timeouts. But I think I probably would have preserved that timeout since he'd gone out of bounds.
So 57 seconds to go. What a great Southwest rivalry. 13 years, 28-21 Stockdale. Independence on the march and fighting with 2 timeouts left. Once again, we'd like to thank our sponsors for Kern High School District, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, United States Army, PAV Solar and Communication, Premier Lighting, Tony's Pizza, and Raymond's Trophies. We appreciate all of their help in making the student athletes to showcase them on such a great stage. First down and 10 from the 13 in the red zone. What can Borelli do? Rolls to the right. He's going to fire, and it's intercepted. Rolled to the right, and it's picked off.
Wow, he did a good job of escaping pressure there, but that was certainly a ball I know he'd like to have back. Just trying to do a little too much there. He still had time on the clock. You got other plays. You don't have to throw that ball into coverage like that.
So the interception made, and Stockdale will take over. Independence has 2 timeouts, 48 seconds left.
Now the ball is inside the 1-yard line, so if I am Independence, I am sending everything I have to try and get a safety here. Stockdale's a pistol team that struggles to run the football. So, them going under center with Jaylon Smith, they're not going to do it. They're going to stay in the pistol. Like I said, I'm sending the house right here.
So the give is.
And they got him. They got the safety.
They definitely did. So Davidson dropped in the end zone, the safety for Independence to cut it to 28-23. And they're going to get the ball.
Well, you got to be able to run the football in this game. And Stockdale has struggled all night. Like you said, Independence had nothing to lose there. I mean, Stockdale, do you throw the ball down there? Then the clock is going to stop. They still had 2 timeouts, so they were forced to run the ball from the pistol again. I mean, you could put them under center, but you got a kid in Jaylon Smith who has never taken a snap probably from under center. And so you knew that they we're going to be in the pistol there, and you can't just take a knee because it was at the 1. So, the game goes on here, and that's pretty critical here. They should, kicking off from the 20, where they kick or punt it, they'll probably get the ball pretty close to midfield here, I would think.
And Ramon Henderson is back with 43.3 to go in a 28-23 contest. And boy, we've seen a little bit of everything tonight.
Just when you think Independence is dead, something happens to keep them alive. I mean, they had about 3rd and 45 or something earlier and got bailed out by a penalty. Now they get that safety, so these kids don't have any quit in them.
Absolutely not. So much fight. Both these teams battling. There's the kick. Henderson will get a chance from his 30 to the 50. Henderson trying to break outside, and he got tripped up by number 12, Nick Souza. The kicker makes the tackle.
Yeah, he saved for at least momentarily there, but the momentum has certainly switched back to Independence's side. They're down 5 points here. They got the ball at the 27-yard line. It said they'd get it probably in pretty good field position. I didn't think it'd be that good, but now we finally see Ramon Henderson really have a huge impact on this game.
So a 43-yard punt return for Henderson. First down and 10. 2 timeouts remaining for the Falcons. They set up shop on the Mustang 28. Borelli another chance. Throws. And it's going to be a pass interference. The pass is incomplete. The question is it offense or defensive pass interference?
I certainly saw the offensive player push off, but they don't typically call it on the offense. I'm an old defensive, player and coach, so I always want that offense guy to get the call. But it looks like they're going to mark it off against Stockdale.
Wow. Independence getting some breaks here at the end of the game, and of course they've made happen. They get the safety with the tackle in the end zone. They get the ball back, a 43-yard punt return, and now from the 13-yard line in the red zone with 30.5 seconds to go, Borelli the junior looking for redemption after that last interception. Throws out in the flat.
He's thrown some really good balls earlier in this game. That pass was not one of them. I don't know if it slipped out of his hand or something, but he put way too much air underneath that.
Yeah, well overthrown. Looking for number 17, Deontay Brown. And now the Independence players trying to get the crowd up on their feet. Number 12, Aubrey Jones, one of the big senior leaders, trying to lead the charge. 2nd down and 10 from the 13. Wyrick is in the backfield with Borelli, the quarterback. Borelli is going to keep it. Borelli to the left. Touchdown, Independence. Wow. Borelli, the junior, from 13 yards out with the read, and he takes it in.
Borelli might have just got himself the MVP on that play, saving the day. This is a situation, though, Independence should be going for 2 right now. Put yourself up 3 in this situation. I think they're so excited that they haven't really thought about it. They only have half of their field goal unit out there. Because Jaylon Smith, he's proven that he can do it, and they're still lacking some guys out there. We're not sure what the kicker's name is. We'll just call him Ray Finkel.
Extra point is up and good, but there's a penalty flag back at the 15, and it's going to be a false start against Independence. So they'll have to re-kick here.
I don't know if he's got the range to make it. Now, you might have to go for 2 almost by accident for him.
So 29-28, Independence battling all the way back, getting the touchdown run from junior quarterback number 8, Sergio Borelli, getting the start tonight. Extra point by number 45 on the way, which would make it a 2-point game. with just under 18 seconds.
Wow.
And the extra point is true. So with 17.9, huge safety. Get the ball back. 43-yard punt return. Henderson makes a huge play. Nearly broke it if it wasn't for a great tackle by the kicker, Nick Souza. And then Borelli with just an outstanding read here and redemption after he threw the interception on the previous drive.
Right. Yeah, we'd seen him play pretty well all night, and then he had the one really bad pass. But, hey, persevere. And how many yards and penalties has Stockdale had tonight? We saw them struggle the first quarter with it, then they were pretty good, and they pulled away a little bit. But this fourth quarter, they've got 60, 70 yards and penalties just in this quarter in that one drive. I mean, they had them dead to rights over here, but lack of discipline kills them. But again, this situation, if I got 18 seconds left and I can have any quarterback in town, I think I'd want Jaylon Smith over here.
Definitely. Jaylon Smith, great arm, 6'1", 180.
And, with 17 seconds left, if they can get this ball back to about the 40, that's going to run about 6 or 7 seconds left off. You still got a play to throw it down there, and I think their kicker's got about 40-yard range. So they could win the game with the field goal, which is why I think Independence should have gone for 2.
Yeah.
And Independence has not kicked the ball deep all night. I'd bring my returners up to at least the 20 here, because I want my deep guys catching it and attacking downhill here. He's going to kick some kind of a squib here.
So 45 to kick off. And it is fielded by number 1, Mason Wright, with 14 seconds. No timeouts for Stockdale here.
So good
They're
job
almost to midfield.
Yeah, good job by Mason Wright there. He attacked aggressively, got the ball to midfield. Now with 14 seconds left, you got 2 plays here to get the ball about 30 yards. What I would probably do is try and hit somebody in a seam route right here. With a head of steam, pick up, ideally 20 yards here. Independence is going to play off, but you can hit this inside seam.
Smith looking for Dunn. He's got him, and Dunn will get out of bounds. Was he able to get out? Yes, he was. Inside the 40-yard line, 8.6 seconds to go. Remember, Stockdale is out of timeouts. 8.6 seconds to go. 30-28 Independence. Smith. 3-step drop. Now he tries to step up. Now he's going to heave it deep into the back of the end zone.
Wow.
In and out of the hands. That would have been the game. What a throw by Smith in the back of the end zone. And number 6, Evan Burkhardt, saw it bounce out of his hands, Rich.
Smith put it there, gave him a chance. Coach Lucero does not understand how there can still be 0.3 seconds left. But it is his timekeeper keeping time over here at Independence High School. So Jaylon Smith's going to get one more opportunity. Did a great job there of buying himself some time and putting a ball in the end zone. So 39 yards away.
So last play of the game, barring a defensive penalty. Smith steps into it, throws it deep, incomplete. No flags. Yes, there is a flag.
Is there a flag?
Back at the 45-yard
for
line.
holding.
It's holding against Stockdale. It is declined. And that is the game. Wow. Kyle Wiley said this is going, he circled this. He said this is going to be a huge Donnybrook, and that's exactly what it was tonight, Rich. 30-28. Independence wins it in such just a crazy night.
Yeah, definitely a crazy night. Independence able to, run the ball well, throw it when they had to, took advantage of Stockdale mistakes. For a game without many penalties or many turnovers, the mistakes sure were costly.
So what a game in this rivalry. 30-28, Independence wins it. We'll take a break and come back with a post-game wrap on And back at Falcon Stadium, Independence High School, we're in the Southwest rivalry. Independence gets a safety late, gets the ball back, 43-yard punt return by the big guy Ramon Henderson and the junior Sergio Borelli. If I'm not mistaken, that was his first start as a varsity player, and what a huge comeback to defeat Stockdale 30-28. Your thoughts, Rich?
Well, this is the game neither team will forget for the rest of their lives. I mean, the improbable comeback when they were facing a situation with about 2 minutes to go when they should have been at their own 3-yard line. They escaped that. They drive down, looked like they got a chance to tie it up, throw an interception, but it happens to be at the 1-yard line. And then Stockdale can't work it out, gives up the safety. And then they get the great kickoff return, the safety return from there, and then, score. And then Jaylon Smith brings them down and gives them a shot there. They had it in a guy's hands in the end zone. So back and forth battle, extremely exciting game, and, one that these kids will remember with fond memories for the rest of their life. But, boy, being on the other side of losses like that, this will be a tough one for Stockdale to overcome.
Yeah, very difficult. Jaylon Smith, 2 passes in the end zone. That first one in and out of the hands of Evan Burkhardt. Tough way to lose. Last game of the preseason. Stockdale hosts Centennial next week. Independence hosts Tehachapi. But before we get there, let's talk about player of the game. And who is our player of the game tonight, Rich?
Well, I think ultimately it came down to Sergio Borelli making the play right there at the end to win it for him, and to have the composure to lead that offense down the field at clutch time. He had made a mistake, but he overcame that, and so many times kids will hang their head and, mope. He realized he had one more chance, and he took full advantage of it.
Absolutely. Sergio Borelli, no, he's not an Italian designer. He is a starting quarterback of the Independence Falcons, and he got it done tonight. So Independence, a big win, 30-28 over the Stockdale Mustangs, and it all begins next week. The league play begins, South Yosemite League, Southwest Yosemite League. All of the leagues get it going next week, and we'll see how tough the preseason is, see who's going to come in and who's going to be strong and who's going to be physically ready and mentally ready to battle, Rich.
Yeah, and it's been interesting. You have a couple teams that have scheduled real difficult and struggled. You have some teams that scheduled maybe a little bit lighter and are doing well. Which of those scenarios works off better when you get to league play?
Yeah, that's an excellent question, and something that we certainly have to think about. Once again, we'd like to thank our Kern High School District sponsors, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, U.S. Army, PAV Solar and Communication, Premier Lighting, Tony's Pizza and Raymond Trophies, and our KHSD superintendents, Superintendent Dr. Brian Schaefer, Assistant Superintendent of Instruction Dr. Brenda Lewis, Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services and Innovative Programs Dr. Dean McGee, and Director of School Support Services Stan Green. And this is his baby, the Kern High Network. Also, we'd like to thank the principals of both Independence and Stockdale, Scott Odlin, Tashawn Winston, Teddy Armijo, Justin Roberts, and Liam McLean. And for Independence, Debbie Thompson, Cy Silver, Kelly Harden, Derek LaRosa, and Grant Bingham. Thanks so much to our wonderful director and our cameraman. And what a great way to finish. Independence wins it 30-28. Thanks so much for tuning in and watching and listening to the Kern High Network. What a game tonight in the Southwest rivalry. Independence 30, Stockdale 28. Independence moves to 3-2, Stockdale to 2-3. Both teams at home. Independence hosts Tehachapi, Stockdale to host Centennial, all next week. For my outstanding broadcast partner, Rich Cornford, it's Rick Hudgens saying so long from Independence High School, Falcon Stadium, and thanks so much for watching and listening to the Kern High Network.